Get my strike going. Leave alive. All right. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Nope.
What do we got?
All right. So maybe we're okay now. StreamYard hates us today. So
Yeah, I don't know.
I couldn't get the damn thing to do nothing. So, anyway, welcome to Metalheads Unite, the chaotic, in and out metal show that you know and love.
Yep. Yeah, we were having we were having a little bit of we were having some technical difficulties for you. We even got started, so
Yeah, it's crazy. So what was weird is like I was telling Chris before the show, like I had 5 of the windows open. They were working fine. I played videos off of one, Spotify off one. It was fine. StreamYard didn't want to connect. It didn't want to connect at all. It just kept saying, can't reach broadcast. Well, what are you talking about? Can't reach broadcast.
yeah, that's even more strange than the video
Right.
feed freezing. That's even more strange.
Yeah, it was fucking weird. But anyway, we are here. We are here now. So
it's Friday night. It's Friday Night Live, is what it is.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what your last wish is, but me and Chris are here. So,
so that's right.
Anyway, so it's man, crazy fucking night. Anyway, so I already got hot because I had to go down. Not hot that I had to go down to my mom's, but I went down to my mom's because we had plans for the weekend already with my wife and kids and stuff. So, and I work Sundays, so I couldn't get there to Mother's Day. So I kind of did our Mother's Day thing with her today. So,
right.
So I was on my way back, and like this truck that's like one of those jacked up trucks, you know what I'm talking about, with the lifts and all that shit. And I guess he thinks he needs to see the sky because he's bright lighting the fuck out of me as I'm coming up on him. And I'm like, dude, you're like,
Right. Take 2.
and action.
Yeah.
Oh my god. We know it's like messed up with Okay, there we go. So like the whole like little bar thing comes up there when he's got like a back in it. So it's totally gone now. So we should be good. That's what I was waiting on to get rid of that damn thing because once you get rid of that, you're usually good. So hopefully that's done and over with. I was have to log in like I think I'll start logging in like 30 minutes early and get it prepped. That's what I'm gonna do. So
yeah.
because it's definitely aggravating as hell. So I don't know what all you caught, but I was telling you I went down to see my mom for Mother's Day tonight because I couldn't get there over the weekend, and then like this big ass jacked up truck, 50 feet in the fucking air decided to bright light me on the way fucking back, and I was just like fucking beaming him, and he just like, of course you can't see nothing because I'm fucking at the road. You're way the fuck up there. You're like blinding airplanes and shit. So
right. I hate that shit, man.
It's like why the fuck you need to? First off, why the fuck you need your bright lights on if you're that high up? You should, if you build a truck that high up, you're not worried about running over anything. Obviously, hell, a goddamn deer could clear that motherfucker underneath him. I mean, seriously, that's how high it was. I mean, a deer just slide under that motherfucker.
Yeah.
But that's aggravating the shit. Like, you don't need all that. Like,
no, it's
that tall guy at the concert with it's that tall guy at the concert with his camera phone 50 feet above his head.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That I always talk about. So
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I get if you want that, that's fine. But damn, don't make it inconvenience for the other people on the road. That's bullshit. Like,
yeah.
There's oh man, but whatever. That's kind of like getting kind of tailgated in a fucking neighborhood doing 20 mile an hour. I'm just like, seriously? Like, yeah. People in a hurry to go nowhere. So. Anyway, that was my rant. So
yeah.
There was a couple of things from last week I didn't. I guess we got tied up in the whole Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing. That kind of tends to get under our skin a little bit. So it kind of
yes, it does.
Got away from a couple of things that we should have talked about. Going back to kind of last week, doing some little history. May 2nd, 2013. Jeff Henneman passed away, so we didn't touch on that, and I really should have because me and you both love Slayer. So I mean,
oh yeah, yeah.
So it was kind of hard to not talk about, but like I said, we had a lot of steamy shit going on last week, so it was definitely shouldn't have got pushed with the back burner, but it did. So we apologize, but definitely want to remember Jeff Hanneman. And then there's another band this is a newer band that kind of like reached out to me once they figured out we were doing this podcast thing. They're a band called Hellraisin, and it's HELLRAISIN. And they're a really young band. I don't even know if they even have a whole like album out. They have a couple songs, like a demo and a song out, I think, something like that. But their debut song has already hit 10,000 streams, which is pretty fucking awesome, man.
Shit! So good
congratulations
for them.
Congratulations to those guys. That's pretty cool to have your first fucking song hit 10,000 streams. That's a pretty big deal, man. So congrats to those guys. And I've talked to one of the kids there, man. And they're good dudes, man. So nothing but the best for them. So
hell yeah, man.
All right, so I guess we can crack into some birthdays. There's not a lot here, so actually I had plans on actually bringing the list back this week because there was a list I wanted to go over, but we'll see. We should have a little bit of time for maybe. A lot of shit went on this week, so
yeah.
All right, I got May 6th through the 12th here. May 6th, we had a Chris Shefflett, the guitarist for the Foo Fighters, and Dream Widow. If you're not familiar, that is heavy metal Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
Or death metal Foo Fighters, actually, even worse. But, we had a Phil Campbell, guitarist for Motorhead. Then we had May 7th, we had Johnny Lee Middleton, bassist for Sabotage. Horg, drummer for Immortal and Hypocrisy. Nagash, multi-instrumentalist, of course, from Dimmu Borgir and Troll. That guy does everything. Sings, plays keyboard, guitar, drum. I think he plays every damn thing unknown to man. So
Yep.
talented fucking individual, dude. May 8th, Alex Van Halen, drummer for Van Halen. Eric Brittingham, bassist for Cinderella. Chris Lighty, he was a music executive and manager for Violator. He unfortunately passed away in 2012. I think it's cool when I come across those that aren't actually band members but had to do with the band. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That somebody thought enough of them to throw them in that list. So, because I mean, this is some of the stuff I get is from people actually having to add people to it. So it's pretty cool. Maybe the band did that, just thought enough of them to add him. So then we have one of our friends, Daniel War from Guitars from Elevate, had a birthday on May 8th. So
hell yeah.
Then Ron Carrillo, guitarist for Dragora. A couple of man, I always talk too soon. So
well, the last thing I heard you talking about was Ron Carrillo's birthday from Dragoria. So
yeah, that's the last bit. So I was kind of watching and it started circling, so I just shut up.
Okay.
So May 9th, we had Andrew WK, of course, singer-songwriter for Andrew WK. May 10th, we had Danny Carey, drummer for Tool. May 11th, we had Christoph Schneider, drummer for Ramstein, whatever you want to say. Man, I hate when people like make a big deal out of that. We know you're talking about. It's fine.
Right.
I was in a crowd of people, and then somebody said that. They said, "Oh, it's Ramstein," and dudes like, "No, it's not." They're starting arguing about it. I'm like, who the fuck cares? We know you're talking about. It's Till Lindemann.
Right. Yeah.
How about that?
Exactly. Yeah.
This is getting aggravating.
I can still hear you as of right now.
Makes you want to beat somebody with a stick.
Mm-hmm. Big stick.
Not a kendo stick either.
Mm-mm.
Not unless it's real, not a workable kendo stick. Anyway, where's that? The 10th? Wait. I did Danny Carey, right?
Yeah, you did Danny Carey. Then you were talking about the difference between Rammstein. So,
which we know. Yeah.
Stein, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Frankenstein.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we had I'm gonna kill this fucking name because of course it's Finnish. Pertu Kivalaxo, maybe. Cellist for Apocalyptica. May 12th, we had Eric Singer, drummer for Kiss since 1991 to present time. Then we had Billy Duffy, guitarist for The Cult. So that was all of the birthdays that I had. So
nice.
I don't know. You had anybody to add or good this week?
Nope. No personal ones this week.
I think I'm good until the 22nd or so.
Well, I don't have any. As far as I know, I don't have. Yeah, as far as I know, I don't have any.
Of course, like always, if we left anybody out, we apologize. Happy birthday to you as well. And like always, if anybody out there listening,
Hmm. Did you restart your Wi-Fi after the rain today? Is your laptop currently the only one running on the one Wi-Fi stream?
Are we back?
I think so.
Oh my god, dude! It's like how many damn places have we went through this, done this? Like, I think a lot of I think it's mostly because they don't have the ability to take on as many people as they thought was going to jump on this thing. You know what I mean?
I think so. I don't know. I don't know
Because I
what it
mean,
is,
yeah,
but
because we've had different uh, platforms throughout our tenure.
did you reset your Wi-Fi after the rain today? Did you get a chance to reset your Wi-Fi after the rain earlier today?
Oh hey, uh, that's every play a drinking game. Every time it goes out, take a shot.
Shit, people are gonna die watching this show.
Oh my god. Anyway, we apologize for the difficulties there. It's
Yeah, I
definitely not
mean,
us. I promise you, it's not us.
yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the issue is. I mean, other than the fact that we're both broadcasting on Wi-Fi and not being hardwired in, that's the only other solution that I can think of. But it shouldn't
Yeah,
it
but
it
it's
shouldn't
just
it shouldn't matter.
no. It's 2023, man. You shouldn't have to plug your fucking shit into a computer.
Yeah,
Uh,
it shouldn't matter. But so I'm not exactly sure what the deal is,
oh
but yeah,
well.
it's just as frustrating for us as it is for you guys. We promise.
Yeah, it is, man. Because we want to put out all this info to you guys, and it's
Yeah,
delaying that. So
yeah,
cutting into our fun, man.
yeah. All right. Well, I guess we can. I guess we'll go ahead and try to hop into the current events of the week and see how this unfolds. So, all right. So, that being said, we're gonna go ahead and first we're gonna start off over at blabbermouth.net this week. All right. Canadian metalers, the Agonists, have officially called it quits after a nearly 2-decade run. Earlier on Wednesday, May 10th, the band released the following statement via social media, quote, "Dear friends, it's time to make a very difficult but necessary announcement. We have decided that the Agonist as a band has come to an end. Much deliberation and care has been put into making this decision, and unfortunately, given the circumstances, this is the conclusion that makes the most sense for the band and us as individuals. There are many factors that led to this decision. It is a mix of personal, financial, and industry related issues, but in the end, the five of us are no longer able to agree on a way forward that would benefit the Agonist business as a whole while respecting each member's personal lives and wishes. We want to express our deepest gratitude to the fans for coming out to the shows, buying our merch, and supporting us over the years. Nothing is more satisfying than connecting with our fellow human beings via the gift of music. It is the number one factor that has always driven us to make you, the listener, feel something. In the end, we know that we've accomplished this together. Some members of the band will continue to work on music in various ways. Others will focus on personal projects and family. We kindly ask you to respect their privacy on this particular matter and encourage you to follow them on their individual social media accounts to support their future endeavors." Vicky Sarakis will be carrying on with her band Six Sense. They have a new EP coming out this summer, and she will be playing 2 live shows with them in Montreal in June. You can also directly support her by following her on Patreon and Twitch. Simon McKay is currently looking to join a new band full-time while offering session work for studio and live gigs. Also keep an eye out for new music coming soon from his solo project. Chris Kells will be focusing on his career as a videographer. Since 2015, he has directed all of the Agonists' music videos as well as many other established bands. Danny Marino is currently writing music for 2 new projects. Pascal Yobin will be releasing new music with his project Trade. Our US-based merch store with Soundscape Agency will remain open. We've also put together an EU-based store for our European fans. Inventory is final and there will be no restocks. Proceeds will go directly to the band to help us pay off our remaining debt. We will survive. At the end of the tunnel, there's always a light, end quote. The Agonists performed live for the first time in nearly 2 years in December 2021 at Theater Corona in Montreal, Quebec. The Agonists released an EP days before the world wept in October of 2021 via Napalm Records. The effort was produced by Christian Donaldson, who has previously worked with Beyond Creation, Cryptopsy, and Despised Icon. Alyssa White-Gluse, who co-founded the Agonists in 2004, then known as Tempest, was announced as the new singer of Arch Enemy on March 17th, 2014. And, we don't have to go through all that shit because that's all in the past now, and that's talking about a different band altogether. So, it's good to see that. I mean, I guess everyone's kind of move on, and they've all got other irons in the fire and more projects in the works. But, we always think it sucks when a band quits. So, unfortunately, it happens sometimes, and it sounds like there wasn't any animosity, which is also always something that, whenever a band breaks up or a member leaves or they go on hiatus or whatever, it's always good to know that it's, there's no acrimony or animosity or anything like that. So that's always good. So best of luck to all the members of the Agonist.
Yeah, I kind of hate that. I kind of like that band. So
yeah.
It is what it is, though. So, I mean, you got to do what's best for you at the time. So,
oh yeah. Well, I mean, you can still support the band. I mean, they've still got stuff on Spotify and everything else. I mean, their music's still going to be around. So that for us, that's a good thing. So
right. All right, my first one's going to be a weird one over here. So,
is it the one I'm thinking of?
Probably. Over at Metal Hammer, Iron Maiden have reportedly taken legal action against Maidenwear, a new undergarment store, over their company name. The band are seeking to block the trademark of the company as they believe their similar brand names will likely to deceive or cause consumer confusion. I don't know about that, but anyway, according to Complete Music Update, in a recent filing submitted to the U.S. Trademark Trial and Appeal Board, Iron Maiden's lawyers note that dominant term in applicants' Maidenwear mark is Maiden, and therefore the mark is confusingly similar in appearance and connotation to opposers' Iron Maiden mark. The filing also states that the goods set forth in Maidenwear application are related to or the same as goods covered by the Iron Maiden registration and or for which opposer has acquired common law rights in the United States. Due to this, the Heavy Metal Legends representatives believe that fans who may be unable to tell the difference between the two trademarks may be led to purchase goods from the undergarment company instead of Iron Maiden, resulting in a potential damage to the group's reputation. They state Maiden, a quote, Maidenware's mark is likely to deceive or cause consumer confusion or mistake among members of the public and potential purchasers as to the source, sponsorship, or composition of applicants' goods in relation to opposers' goods, end quote. I mean, I haven't seen the logo. I guess I probably should have looked that up to see how close it was. I think that's the biggest issue here. They're trying to say that the trademark and the Maiden kind of look similar. So, hell, man, I think it's an opportunity, man. Bruce Dickinson just needs to jump on board and take 50%, man. Take 50% of profits, man. See Eddie modeling underwear, man.
Hell yeah, dude. It's an untapped market potential.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of Iron Maiden, over at the PRP, this is a pretty quick one. Iron Maiden's iconic mascot Eddie is set to be immortalized as a 7-inch scale figure. That set recreates the cover art for the band's platinum-selling 1982 album, The Number of the Beast, which was originally done by Derek Riggs. NECA will be releasing this new figure as part of their Ultimates line with an estimated August ship date. It will be arriving in celebration of the album's 40th anniversary. The aforementioned company said of the forthcoming release, quote, "It's Eddie, Iron Maiden's legendary mascot, as he appears on the Number of the Beast album and single covers. Celebrate the 40th anniversary of this metal masterpiece with this 7-inch scale figure that lets you recreate Derek Riggs' art for both the iconic 1982 album and title track single. Eddie features stunning detail in paint and sculpt that really recreates the illustrations, and it's puppeteering the devil himself, who has his own even smaller Eddie puppet. The set also includes a Satan's head accessory to recreate the cover art for the Number of the Beast single cover. Comes in special 40th anniversary 5-panel packaging with opening front flap," end quote. And you'll have to put this up there for me, but we are going to share the screen here, share the screen, and window, and there, and share. So yeah, you'll have to share that for me.
Oh, nice.
There it is. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so let me see. It's got a...
That's not the. Is that what you posted on the group page? I said you might as well just tag me in it.
Yes. So yeah, there's a little bit of a little bit of a slideshow here. So
nice. Oh man.
So yeah, that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I dig it.
That's pretty badass. Yeah. So
as long as it ain't too awful crazy expensive, I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing is oddly enough, they didn't say like they're going to put like a certain amount of like a production limit on it. I mean, I'm sure they will, but normally, in the past when we've talked about these things, are like, oh, there's only going to be like 1,500 made. It's like, well,
Well,
so
who's making this one?
Maybe this will. NECA.
Well, okay. I'm not sure if I've heard of that.
It could be I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised it wasn't like Knucklebones or something like that. But it's not,
that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. So Knucklebones and Funkos
here's like
to do a limited thing on their stuff. So
yeah. So here's like, I guess that's their official Twitter right there, NECA official. So obviously they're gonna. I'm sorry, Instagram. Never mind, that's Instagram. So. Check your favorite retailer for order info. So, all right. So, looks like end of summer. So, not too bad.
Yeah.
Pretty neat. Pretty well done.
Yeah. I like it.
I do too.
All right. I got a pretty quick one here too. This one still staying over with Metal Hammer here. With over 50 years of heavy metal history under their collective belts, Judas Priest know a thing or two when it comes to seeing trends come and go. One of those was disco, which emerged from the 70s U.S. nightclub scene and dominated mainstream music across that decade. As a result, many other genres found themselves briefly swept to the side, and according to Priest frontman Rob Halford, metal was no exception. having felt the double whammy of disco and the emergent punk scene taking up column inches. When disco came along, the entire industry seemed to turn its back on metal. He explains in a new issue of Metal Hammer magazine. It's tough for a lot of us, especially, particularly, when we were making 1977 Sin After Sin, because everyone was telling us metal was dead. It's all about punk, but we just took a wait and see approach. Now, globally, metal is a mainstream in many ways they never even predicted, and it's inspiring people around the world. By the time we reached 1980s British Steel, we started to feel more confident about who we were and what we were doing. The metal god adds. Finally, we could pay the rent and afford a bottle of milk for our cereal. For that first decade, everything we earned went back into the pot. Through sheer determination and self-belief, we got to the tipping point, but we never ever reached a point where it was like we've made it last, so let's relax. Yeah, you know, I don't know too many bands that ever get to that point where they can just say, "All right, we can relax and just ride this thing out." I mean, of course, besides probably Metallica, Guns N' Roses, bands like that, but they were so mega huge in their time frame.
Right.
As popular as Priest was, they were no Metallica of the '70s. I mean,
right.
So yeah, I can definitely understand what he's doing, and that's what I always try to put out there when we do these. Me and you both done it. To put out to the people that this isn't a glamorous life, not at the beginning. So,
right.
These guys are working 9 to 5s and trying to put their heart and soul into their music because they believe in it. So, which is one of the reasons why we tell everybody to support their local bands, because they may be the next Metallica. You don't know. So I mean,
yeah, wasn't it Dana earlier this week that had that one meme on Facebook that says, "If you can't support me here," and it was like a teeny tiny ass little club.
Exactly.
Don't ask me for tickets if I end up here, and it was this big ass full arena and shit. That was Dana, right?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was Dana. But yeah, that's a good point.
It is a good point.
I mean, everybody was every band was a garage band or a teeny tiny little dive bar house band at some point. Like we've said before, Metallica's first show was at a fucking skating rink.
Rink, yeah. Well, so yeah, you just never know, man. But,
everyone is small at the beginning, so
I mean, they're all kind of, and like I said, I think it's more saturated than it was in the '70s and '80s too.
It's
because
by leaps and bounds.
Well, yeah, because you have so many outlets to get your stuff out there. So and like I said, to think, to have that way of thinking now, how many bands do you think got ignored or missed upon in that era because you didn't know?
So
yeah.
many.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Well, and the funny thing is you're talking, you're talking, 50 years ago. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there was nothing like this going on, like what we're doing.
Right. Exactly.
And I guarantee you there were probably bands. How many bands have we talked to from Europe over the last couple of years?
Yeah.
We've talked to the bulk of the interviews we have done have been over in Europe. Yeah. So I mean, and and
we're going to continue that trend. So
right, yeah. So I mean, and there were probably bands back then that were trying to do the same thing Priest was doing, and there was no way anyone back in the mid '70s would have even gotten wind of anybody over in Sweden, Finland, Germany, Belgium. No, there's no way in hell. There's no way in hell.
I think maybe one of the reasons I love doing those interviews though is because we're that U.S. spokesperson for those guys, in a way, what I mean? So,
yeah, in a way, yeah.
We're kind of like, hey, check these guys out, and yada yada yada. So.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to do our part the best we can, and all of them, and they've all been so gracious and appreciative. That also helps too. So,
exactly, yeah. So, and like I said, I actually, talking about one of the albums that I reviewed last week, Finality. They actually put something on. Hey, send me the link to your review. So I sent them the link to the fucking show. Fast forward to the end. That's our last segment. and
Mhm.
the guy and oh, here we go again. Hello, hello,
Yep.
hello.
Yep. Hello. Hello. You were talking. Yeah. You were talking about.
I don't know.
You talking about the band Finality?
Finality. Yeah. So they put a thing on there, and I told them, I did the album review, and I sent them the link. They said, "Hey, send me the link." So I sent them the link. I told them that the album reviews were toward the end of our segment. So if you wanted to fast forward to the end, that's fine. Whatever we wanted to do. And he said, "No, man, I have a long commute."
I guess StreamYard doesn't want you to tell that story.
I guess I was like, "Fuck you, I don't like nowadays." Well, you're missing out. I would say.
Yeah.
Uh, But yeah, I don't know how much of it you caught, but anyway, I told him that I sent him the link or whatever, and told him that that was the last segment, and he could fast forward if he wanted to. And he said, no, he would actually listen. He had a long commute, so he would actually listen to the whole thing. I was like, oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
cool. We
cool. That's
appreciate
nice
it.
of him. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, hey, we
I
appreciate that.
did.
So
I did listen. I did listen to the album this week.
yeah.
Oh,
So
it's
what do you
good.
think?
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah, I
good.
liked it. So
It was. It was
yeah.
very good.
So
I say
so
I
so I mean, so one thing led to another, and we may be in talks.
that works too, man. That works.
So,
Yeah, that works.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
I was eventually going to reach out to him anyway, but
yeah.
seeing as it was already there, I was like, yeah,
Oh shit, that reminds me. I forgot to reach out to Enforcer. I got to do that. I'm,
yeah,
I'll try to do that this weekend. I completely forgot.
cool.
Damn it. I'll write
Yeah.
myself a note. Make myself a note here, so I'll do that. I know you saw. I know you saw. I finally got caught up with the last 3 weeks of the Metalhead Minute.
I did see that. Yeah,
I was like, shit, finally. So yeah, that's out there. So I feel better about it. I got caught up on it. So yeah, I kind of felt like shit. I'd fallen behind, but I got caught back up on that, so I'm good now. All right, gonna go over to the PRP for the next one. This one was interesting, and this one's probably we probably haven't heard the last of this one. Vulvodynia drummer Thomas Hughes has given more insight into the recent violent altercation that led to the band's vocalist Duncan Bentley being fired from the band. Speaking via social media today on May 7th, so this was earlier in the week, Hughes offered, quote, just want to say thanks to everyone who has reached out personally and through messages. I'm doing okay other than being in a little pain, and we just want to try to continue the tour and make the best of this awful situation. We were not in any sort of drunken brawl. We had an amazing night out with friends after the show, and towards the end of the night started noticing changes in his behavior, with him becoming erratic and irritable and unnecessarily mean about people and towards homeless people around. So when we got back to the hotel, I asked him if he had been drinking at all, and he absolutely snapped. I literally said, Duncan, as a friend, I need to know if you've been drinking tonight, and he absolutely lost it. This is not the first time this has happened at all. Had to deal with a very similar situation in the Philippines just over a month ago when he was late for lobby call for our flight, and I went to his room to wake him. And when I did, he snapped and attacked me, punching me multiple times, breaking my ribs. We had been considering telling him to leave the band since then, but he'd assured us he would quit drinking and had been seeking professional help. Tours are planned months in advance, and I had been the one responsible for signing surety on merch orders and many of the financial things that allow us to tour. If we miss the tour, I will have been financially ruined for life, so we decided to give him the benefit of the doubt and continue with him and his promise to not drink at all. This latest situation just proves that it was never the alcohol and all that sets this off and is a much darker mental issue. After this situation, I sent him multiple links to AA and other alcohol treatment programs, as well as psychologists, and tried to be there for him. I also tried, with the help of our manager, to help him get a sponsor who comes from our scene and understands the music life and its issues and wasn't just going to push God on him as a treatment. He never once reached out to that person. We did not abandon Duncan in a random country with nothing. He was about to be arrested for his behavior, but the police said that we would have had to wait in Prague for weeks of court dates, and as much as we wanted, we were not in a position to do so. With this, the police removed him from the hotel and escorted him away from us, telling him to leave. Even after all this and spending most of the day at the hospital, when we got to our accommodation, I still reached out to his wife, Catherine, yesterday evening, checking in on him and letting her know how to change his flight home, as well as send him money to be able to get where he needs to be to catch his flight home against the wishes of everyone else involved, as I didn't want him to leave him stranded. I hope he is able to get the treatment he needs and get better. He will never be in the band again, but I hope that he can get treated and sort his life out. I do not wish any violence against him and hope he can get his life sorted out. End quote. Meanwhile, tourmate Lee McKinney of Born of Osiris chimed in on social media, attesting to the past violent behavior exhibited by Bentley. He said of that, witnessed this behavior just a month ago while they were supporting us across Asia. This is very sad. Wishing their best to the rest of the guys in the band. They are great people and great musicians. And then the original story, which I should have read that first. I'm sorry. They parted ways with Duncan Bentley. They fired him after Bentley and Hughes got in a fight on tour. Hughes was hospitalized. Let's see what else we got going on. Well, that's pretty much it, I guess. That pretty much sums up the initial fight. And then, to follow that up, Duncan Bentley issued a statement after being fired from the aforementioned band following a violent altercation with drummer Thomas Hughes. Let's see. Taking to social media on May 10th, Bentley stated, "Hey everyone, I'm writing this to you all today with a heavy heart. There's no easy way to talk about what happened recently, but it's important that I do. I've been silent until now because I was stranded without means to communicate, and I wanted to get medically checked out before addressing what happened." I'm probably not going to read this whole thing. It's really freaking long. So I'll leave that up to you guys. It's over at the PRP, like I said. "First, I owe the band, our crew, and Tom an apology. An apology seems so small in the face of what happened, but I need to offer it. I'm so sorry for what happened in Prague. We've shared so many stages, so many good times, and I never wanted our story to end on a night like that. I regret that our disagreement turned physical, and I take full responsibility for my part in it. To clear up any misconceptions, I want everyone to know that I've been sober since March 30th. I never tried to kill Tom like all the headlines are saying. The reason our argument started that night was because I was wrongly accused of drinking while I was actually sober, taking care of my bandmates who were themselves drinking. The frustration of seeing our hard-earned band funds being used on drinks, drugs, lap dances, etc., and then being accused of drinking myself when I was merely tired escalated an already existing tension. The misuse of funds had been a recurring event since the band bank account was put in Tom's name. This isn't the first time that Tom and I have had a physical altercation. On our third European tour, Tom choked me out after pulling out of our tour van during a heated argument, leaving me feeling betrayed and hurt. Then in the Philippines, I attacked him in a drunken rage after not having slept properly and having to deal with grief from the death of a family member. I'm not proud of these incidents, and they are not excuses for my behavior, but I do want to make clear that these were isolated events and that Tom and I have had many positive experiences together as friends and bandmates." Like I say, there's like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more paragraphs that I won't read. Like if you guys want to check that out, you can. But
he can say you try not to kill him, but I seen the pictures, man.
Yeah.
he fucked that guy up.
Yeah, he did.
Oh man.
So, I'm hoping that he is sober. March 30th is only a month and a half.
Right.
Having said that, 6 weeks is 6 weeks is a lot of time for somebody who's been going through something like that. So 6 weeks is not nothing. So good for him if that is indeed the case. And I hope that he continues to be sober if that is the case. And whatever I guess whatever other underlying issues he may have, he can get those addressed. So
Cool. Man, crazy.
yeah.
This kind of goes into this other crazy story that I have. So, man, it was like a bunch of crazy stuff happened this week.
there was.
So this one over from Blabbermouth. In a new interview with Neil Turbin of Anthrax, the metal voice, Dutch guitarist Adrian Ajay Van Den Berg, or AKA Adrian Vandenberg,
Right.
was asked if he would never ever reunite with former Vandenberg's hearing for some live shows or a studio album. He responded, as transcribed by blubbermouth.net, "No, with Bert, it is over. I never want to see that guy again because he and former bass players started 6 lawsuits against me, and they lost all of them. They claimed my name, and the band name. They said, we were a part of it, so we want to have that name." And I said, no. So I had to defend myself. It was 6 lawsuits. It cost a lot of money and a lot of negative energy. Otherwise, we could have done some reunion shows or whatever, and we didn't. It is embarrassing also because when you think of your friend, they're your friends or something, and then 30 years later, after I was in Whitesnake for 12 years, toured all over the world in all stadiums, you name it, they thought, oh, wait a minute, there's some money to be made. So they wanted to tour without me, like a Vandenberg without Vandenberg, so to speak. And they had the illusion they were going to win. So I never need to see those guys again because there was so much lying going on in those lawsuits. Vandenberg originally opened up about his legal disputes with his former bandmates in a 2012 Facebook post. At the time, he wrote, "Sometimes there are things in life that are ridiculous and seemingly far-fetched that if the scriptwriter for a cheesy TV soap would come up with it, the producers would roll on the floor laughing, foaming at the mouth, and tell the writer to start looking for another job." Well, in my life, a situation just as surrealistic is happening as we speak. Some of you may remember that before joining my close friend David Coverdale and his band Whitesnake, I had my own band under my own name, Vandenberg, which I founded, wrote all the music and lyrics for, made the paintings and for the album covers, designed the logo for, and etc. And I eventually disbanded my own band in '86 to join Whitesnake. Now sit down, fasten your seatbelts. Here comes the surrealistic part. Almost a year ago, I got summoned by a lawyer representing the 3 guys I invited to play in the band at the time, 1981. I claimed my own name, Vandenberg, and actually trying to prohibit me from using my own name, Vandenberg, through a lawsuit. How bizarre is that? These individuals, singer, and like I said, it's kind of going through this again, but I never knew the story, so I'm reading it. But
Yeah.
Bert Herrick, bassist Dick Kemper, appropriate first name, it says in parentheses, and drummer Josh Zoomer, each of them factually not having achieved anything worth mentioning in about 27 years, now opportunistically. Trying to lift piggyback on the name reputation that I was fortunate enough to build through my years of working my ass off with Vandenberg, Manic Eden, and Whitesnake. A sad situation indeed, since I always thought these guys were my friends. The Bert Herrick attempt is even more pathetic than the others, since I had to fire him from my band a year before I disbanded it for reasons I won't disclose right now. So this individual wasn't even in my band when I disbanded it. Nevertheless, this person attempts to claim my personal name 26 years later. Naturally, the judge wiped their claims away. You'd expect these leeches would crawl back embarrassed under the damp, mossy stones they came from, or they've been hiding under for 27 years. But no, right now they're trying once again to hijack my name through a different route, a trademark office. It is basically like when you invite a couple of people for a ride in the backseat of your new car, and then after the ride, the passengers claim that your car is now theirs because they were given a ride in it. Some people have no shame. Wow, that's pretty funny. But
yeah,
I don't know. That's like crazy, man. How are you gonna like try to take a guy? That's his last name. Like, how stupid do you have to be? It's like,
I don't know, man.
I mean, to me, I feel like if you went on, you could say that you were formerly, all 3 of you guys were formerly in Vandenberg. You know what I mean? So yeah, we were formerly in Vandenberg, because that's still going to get people to notice you because they knew who Vandenberg was.
Right.
If we had that, look at Venom Inc. We could go all day. Halo Effect, In Flames. We could go all day with that. But none of those guys did. They went on, got different names, and Venom Inc. ain't too awful different because that's just that's just them being,
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's just childish in a way, but that's still,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, they're still a great band. So, and I like both bands actually. So, I mean, we get two good bands out of it. I don't care what they call themselves. As
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
as long as they can make it work. But I mean, to take somebody's last name, that would be, you know, like us being in a band called Toronjo, and then you disband it, and then me and three other guys going, hey, we're going to keep calling ourselves Toronjo. Like,
Right.
no, you're not.
Right. Yeah.
There ain't even nobody named Toronjo in your band anymore, you dumbass.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Of course, I'd be like, good luck getting people to pronounce it right.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
So
you just did, but you know
yeah.
how to pronounce it though. You just did.
Well, yeah, but how long did I call you Tarango before you ever
Oh
told me
God.
that?
Oh yeah.
Hell, I never knew it was even pronounced that way. You said something one night. I'm like, what? I said, why didn't you just say something? It's like, I called you that because Joey called you that. So
yeah. Yeah. Well, it doesn't. That's the thing, is it doesn't bother me. So I usually don't. I mean,
I had a couple of friends like that. I had a guy I worked with. His name was Diatley, but everybody called him Deatley. But his name was really Diatley, which it is what it is. And then, like, I never caught on to it until I was doing some prescriptions for him one day, and I noticed his A was capitalized, and I said, "Oh, well, that makes sense." Diatley.
Oh, so yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said, I just don't correct nobody. I just let it go.
Yeah, I usually don't either. Yeah. I mean, unless somebody asks me, like, is that how you pronounce it? I'd be like, well, no, it's actually Toronjo. But
I just hope all the Finnish and Swedish band members are that understanding about us and their names. So.
Oh, shit, yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, you're not kidding. All right, well, not to be outdone for crazy situations. Still at the PRP.com. Veteran hardcore outfit Terror have taken to social media to call out the venue security during their recent show at Ridgely Theater in Fort Worth, Texas. The band were on stage at that venue this past Friday, May 5th, as part of a bill with the Black Dahlia Murder, Frozen Soul, Fuming Mouth, and more. It would appear that one member of the security detail in particular drew the ire of the band, as mentioned in the below exchange online. And then there's a couple of tweets embedded. This one is from Terror. It says, Ridgely Theater in Fort Worth, Texas easily has the worst security this band has encountered in all 20 years of existence. And if you know us, that's saying a lot. And then somebody said, what about that spot in Knoxville? And then they said, one guy at this place was worse than them all, which I'd like to know what happened in Knoxville now that I read that. I don't even know. As seen in the footage below, and there's a video embedded in a tweet if you guys want to check that out. As seen in the below footage filmed by Unity Texas's Shaolin G, one member of the venue security was seen aggressively pushing away crowd surfers when Terror vocalist Scott Vogel attempted to throw the mic to one crowd surfer who was closing in to the front of the barricade. The security guard pushed the individual back before grabbing the mic himself and saying, "I don't think so." Said guard then handed the mic back to an unimpressed-looking Vogel. Knocked Loose vocalist Brian Garris was among those to comment on the above clip, which has racked up over 402,000 views as of press time. He offered security guard at hardcore metal show that has never seen a hardcore metal show is the dumbest shit of all time. Fuck them all. And then Ridgely Theater has fired back also over at the PRP, saying the original story anyway. The Ridgely Theater in Fort Worth, Texas has responded to the recent controversy surrounding the venue. You've likely read that Terror recently called out the establishment for employing what the band described as the worst security this band has encountered in all 20 years of existence. Terror's commentary came about after playing a show on May 5th, what we just talked about. Responding to Lamb Goat on the matter, the venue offered, Ridgely Theater Complex has a zero tolerance for stage diving, kicking, punching, windmilling, ejected. The people in the crowd were attempting to jump the barricades to get on the stage, only one ejection for kicking a minor in the front row. Our security did a great job and exhibited a lot of restraint after being punched by a very rowdy crowd. The show in question found Terror as support to the Black Dahlia murder on a bill that also featured Frozen Soul and more. Gerald Jerry Schultz, who heads up the Ridgely Theater, also shared some more commentary on social media regarding the show, including, "We are banning Terror and maybe all hardcore. Don't know of a venue in Dallas-Fort Worth that will allow stage diving, punching, kicking, and crowd killing, all while bitching about everything." He further added, "Terror, worst excuse for a band I have seen in 20 years. Lead singer sucks." Schultz went on to claim that the video that has been widely circulated didn't capture the full context of the moment. According to Schultz, Terror frontman Scott Vogel had been inciting fans to rush the stage. Schultz said of that and the moment captured on video, "It was in response to the lead singer saying we get everyone to rush the stage diving, so Brian said, 'I don't think so, LOL. When a fan pointed out that the mic was being thrown to an audience member, which is common at hardcore shows, Schultz responded, "Nope, he threw it at Brian after he bragged he was going to get the crowd to mob them, and Brian said, 'I don't think so.' That may be the Ridgely Theater new our shirt and slogan." I don't know. A bunch of text message shorthand, apparently.
Yeah.
Further explaining his stance, he offered, "I clearly don't want the hardcore scene. It's a disaster. All metal is great. Wish they didn't mix the two genres together. No problems with Black Dahlia people. This insanity of people have a right to stage dive, kicking and punching, crowd killing is the problem. I admit we could always do better, but in case Terror decided they wanted to incite a riot, maybe for publicity, so it's no problem. Terror is banned. Hardcore, no our house rules. No stage diving, kicking, punching, crowd killing, period. Knocked Loose and the others know this and don't try to cause a riot like Terror did. Doubt there is a venue in Dallas-Fort Worth that will take them. Basically, I didn't know a hardcore band was on the bill when Third String booked the theater. Thought it was all death metal. By the way, we just rent the space and depend on the people booking to tell the bands and tour manager our policies. I told them right before the show, and the tour manager dropped the ball. Basically, mixing metal and hardcore on the same lineup just invites disaster. Metal wants to mosh, core wants to kick, punch, stave dive, and crowd kill. They don't mix. Mosh was awesome, crowd surfing cool, barricades, jumping, and attempted stage diving were the problem. Plus, continued punching at security. So, sounds like it's one of those instances of there's three versions of every story.
Yeah. Did that not remind you of the Chattanooga show we went to with?
The funny thing was I was talking to my buddy Tyler at work, and he's the guy I work with who's the lead singer of that metal band, and he asked me if we were going to cover this on this week's show. I said, "Oh yeah, I've already got it." I said, "I've already got it." He asked me if I heard about it and if we were going to cover it. It's like, "Oh yeah, I've already got it tabbed out and everything." And he and I got to talking about it, and I was telling him and another coworker of mine about that. I said, "We went down to Chattanooga to see Testament, Exodus, and Death Angel, and right there, right as you walk in, there's like a little counter at front. It's got two signs. One of them is like the house rules. There's a separate sign next to that sign that specifically says moshing is not allowed." And I was like, "Do they not realize what kind of show they booked at this venue?"
Right.
And then, the show starts, and like 3 minutes into Death Angel's set, they're playing the Ultra Violence, and Mark comes out and goes, "Why is everybody moshing? Where are my crowd surfers?" There you go.
He's inciting.
Yeah, there you go.
First off, wow. Do you not know what you're booking when you book a metal show? I mean, I don't get that. Like, especially bands like Terror and what was it? Was Frozen Soul one of the bands too?
Terror, Frozen Soul, Fuming Mouth, Black Dahlia Murder.
Black Dahlia Murder. I mean, like you got some pretty extreme bands right there. So you can expect them to get rowdy. I mean,
you should do a little bit of homework, I would say.
Well, you can just get your country music artists together and do that. I guess I don't know, but
yeah.
All right. Well, the crazy doesn't end yet, just so you know. Over at Loudwire, a trailer carrying gear for Craig Puciato's band was struck and flipped by a drunk fan after his show last night, which this was May 10th in Denver, Colorado. Right. Fortunately, no one was injured during the impact. Puciato spent the first few months of 2023 touring with Jury Cantrell, but is currently on his first ever North American solo tour in support of his 2022 album, Mirror Cell. Last night's performance in Denver was the sixth stop on the trek, and in a post on Instagram, Puciato said that it was their best show yet, and the crowd was the best of them all thus far. Quote, then we walked outside, and our trailer immediately got smacked by a drunk driver at 50 miles per hour who hit it hard enough to flip the truck over in the middle of the street. You know what's crazy? We were 3 hours late to load in today, which at that time seemed like a drag, but if we would have been on time, one or more of us would have been out there loading the trailer, he wrote in the caption. So luckily nobody was there when he got hit. His post further states that the driver of the vehicle that struck the trailer was in attendance at the show. Fortunately, his next performance isn't until tomorrow in Minneapolis, and Puciato assured that they will figure the situation out and will not miss the show. Quote, this existence is a test, checks and balances, best show of the tour, ready to celebrate. Now your trailer is about to get blasted by a drunk driver. What the fuck ever. Can't stop, won't stop. He said, can't stop, won't stop. I'm glad the driver and the passenger are both still alive, but you need to call Uber next time, the caption concluded. A fan commented on the photo asking if they could donate, and Puciato replied, yes, at www.toocool for GoFundMe. GoFundMe, other people have real problems, but thank you for caring.com.
Jesus Christ.
Which was a great response, I think, but
yeah.
Beside the fact, crazy. Like I said, it's all about timing, man, in life. It's like, we can go back to the Cliff Burton, Kirk Hammett story. Mm-hmm. All that's about timing and things just being, meant to be, I guess. But that's kind of scary to know that it, be pissed off about being 3 hours late, but then you're thinking, oh man, if it was 3 hours earlier, we'd have been fucking killed. So or definitely injured. 50 mile an hour, flip a trailer. So
yep. Yeah, it is very strange how things work out sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I was done. I don't know if you got any more.
I got one more, and I'm going to try to share this video to the screen because I think I'd rather just do that than to read the story because I think I think it would just be better that way. So let me read this one more. This one over from Blabbermouth as well. Let me put that to the side because I got to do that one. Rare Bird Books has set a September 5th release date for Loco, Chaos, Calamity, and Cold Chamber, the first volume of autobiography from Des Fafara. The California-born and raised everyman is now the singer and leader of the band Devil Driver, which had a new album out today.
Yep.
And we'll probably be talking about that later. Yep. Artist, manager, multiple brand owner, and motivational guru. In the period of the time covered in Loco, though, Dez was just Bradley Fafara, a Hollywood club kid who escaped a lifetime wasted in both senses on the beach to become one of the 1990s most vivid rock stars. With his band Cold Chamber, Dez pioneered a whole new sound and visual, touring the world, battling innumerable obstacles, and ultimately breaking free to go solo with Devil Driver. The focus of Volume 2 of Fafara's two-book autobiography plan, titled after Cold Chamber's 1997 hit Loco, describes the arc of a man who was ripped off, let down, beaten up, but never quit, and who ultimately achieved his own form of redemption. It includes more than 50 black and white and full-color images. In a recent interview with the Ever Black podcast, Fafara stated that Loco, that's going to be a real tell-all. I think people are going to get a chance to see where I come from as a kid because I left home early, slept under bridges, stole food, went to jail, and I think people are going to really get a view of it's a hard knock life. Loco, Chaos, Calamity, and Cold Chamber was written by Joel McIver, the best-selling author of Justice for All, The Truth About Metallica, which has been translated into 9 languages and several other books. He has written for Rolling Stone, The Guardian, Metal Hammer, Classic Rock, and he is the occasional guest on BBC. Classic Rock magazine has called him by some distance Britain's most prolific hard rock metal author. He wrote the official biography of the world's biggest death metal band, Cannibal Corpse, and co-wrote Megadeth's bio from former bass player Dave Ellefson. So definitely got some stuff under his belt there.
Hell
that's
yeah.
crazy. That's crazy.
And I'm gonna pick up that book when it comes out too.
Oh yeah, that'd be a cool read there. I think so. Especially, I think like the thing that I, with wrestling books too. Like I got a couple of the wrestling books, but I think Mick Foley's always intrigued me because he kind of had that same thing where he slept in cars. He was eating pork and bean cans. And, I mean, it was hard times, as this Rose said. But, but I mean, it just kind of intrigues you because you kind of know where the guy came from, and you kind of glad that he kind of made something of himself because he came from nothing, And it's one of the things that I always like. If I see somebody win the lottery, I always hope it's some people living in the ghetto, you know what I mean? That's gonna like get out and do something better with their life, instead of some dentist that's already a millionaire,
No shit.
That kind of pisses me off. Like, you're a millionaire. What the fuck you playing the lottery for? Like,
right? Yeah.
But yeah, so this is kind of one of those feel good things. So I think that's going to be kind of like the story here too. I think it's going to be one of those that kind of capture you in, and you can relate to it a little better. I think so.
Yeah.
I think we've all been kicked down, pretty close to nothing at some point in our lives. So, this one I want to try to see, get this video. Hopefully, I can share a video on here.
You should be able to. I mean, I've never tried, but I mean, you should be able to.
So what do you do again? You just
go down at the bottom where it says present.
Yeah, that's right. And it's share screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There we go. Did it pop up? Yeah, there it is.
Oh, I saw this story, but I didn't see the video.
So it's not going to let me play the video from here, I don't think. Yeah,
it should.
It's not letting me. Huh. Weird.
Really?
Okay.
A reason to fight. We all need one. The demons that are known as addiction and depression are very, very real. They are diseases no different than cancer. You can't see depression. You can't see addiction. It festers inside. It metastasizes. It takes over your body, your mind, your soul. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of losing everybody I love to depression and addiction. Every single band member on the stage has dealt with those feelings, with those demons. And I miss the friends that we've lost. Miss Chester, Miss Scott, and Miss Chris. And if I can be completely honest with you, a couple months ago, I almost joined them.
Nobody's saying anything there.
Depression can happen to anyone, ladies and gentlemen. No one is immune from it, no matter how beautiful their life may look from the outside, no matter how blessed they may seem. It's out of our control. Now, by a show of hands, how many of you have dealt with the demons of addiction and depression yourself or know someone that has?
This is pretty powerful right here, man.
Now take a look around this arena. As you can see, my friends, you are not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can get much, heartfelt deeper than that, man.
Yeah.
That's like I said, I could have read the story, but I don't think it would have did any justice to just hearing it.
It's good to know that we can, and as an aside, it's good to know that we can get videos to play on here. That's good.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. But back to what Dave was saying, we've, we all have we all have people that will listen to us if we talk. You and I mean, hell, you and I, of course, we've never, full disclosure, we've never had any conversations of anything like that because,
right.
but you and I could. I think, you and I have
Oh
known each
yeah,
other.
most
I mean,
definitely.
you
Yeah.
and I have known each other more than long enough to where, if we needed to discuss something like that, whether it's one or the other, you and I have known each other long enough to where we could have that conversation.
You can talk each other off the ledge if we had to.
Right. So I mean, we know that we had, my wife is a rock, your wife is a rock, we could talk to each other if we had to, so people need to realize that people will listen if you need help. There are people out there, there are hotlines, there are websites, people will listen. There are people who will understand. There are people who can relate. There are people who can absolutely relate, whether it's directly or indirectly. We've all been through shit to one degree or the other, and we're all gonna go through shit to one degree or the other. So when it feels starts to feel hopeless, just know that there are people who know what you're going through and can help you. There is help out there.
There was a friend of mine that shared a story with me one time that really stuck with me, and he told me that he went to college with this guy, right? And like this guy had him and his friend both were in college in his I guess his frat. They were all in the frat together.
Yeah.
Well, these two guys that came from the same hometown, and they had met in like 8th or 9th grade, I think he said. And one of the guys, like I don't remember the name, so I'm just just going to tell the story. But he said one of the guys was coming home or going home from school. He had his bike had been like had a flat or something, so he was trying to push it, carry his books and all that stuff, and everything just kind of fell. People were just laughing at him and making fun of him or whatever. Well, the other guy went and said, "Hey man, you need help," and he said, yeah, and he said, "I think you actually live on the same block as I do." And they actually did. They lived at like 8 houses from each other. So he helped him carry his stuff and his bike to his house or whatever. And he told me those two guys went to college together. And then later on, they one of them got married, and the other one, of course, was the best man. The one that helped the guy was the one that got married, and the other guy that was having the issues was the one doing the speech for the marriage. And the first time he told that story was at that wedding. And he said that day he was on his way home to kill himself.
Whoa!
And if his friend if that guy had not showed up and helped him, make him realize that hey, there are people that will help you. And he said if it wasn't for that, I would not be here right now. So yeah. I mean, to hear that after 10, 12 years of friendship and not ever know that, it's kind of mind numbing for one, but to have it said at your wedding, it's like, whoa. But yeah, he was telling me that story one day, and I said, what the fuck, dude? That's crazy. But you just never know, man. Like, I help people all the time because you don't know, man. It's like, you don't know what people are going through, especially with strangers. I mean, you don't know what strangers are going through, man. They're having a bad day, and like I said, you may run into a situation like that where everything's going wrong, and nowadays it's kind of hard to do that than it would be 10, 12 years ago because, people are crazier now than they used to be. But I'm just saying, if you see somebody on the side of the road, we used to stop and like, hey man, you need help or, or whatnot, or, it kind of depends on the time of day and then how crowded it is too.
That's true.
But I've always said, somebody needed a jump or something like that. I'm like, hey, I got you, so. But because you just never know, like they're having a shitty day, especially most of the time that I did that, it was outside of work. So I know how where we worked at was. So it's very stressful sometimes. So, you're already stressed at work. You're trying to leave, trying to get out of there early, and then your fucking car breaks down or whatever. And I'll spend most of my break jumping you off. So,
right.
I mean, that's just because that's because you just don't know. I mean, like I said, they could have been the last straw for me or something.
Yeah, that's true.
You just don't know. So,
yeah.
So don't ever think that. But yeah, if you're having issues, don't ever think nobody's listening. Because there's people out there. But I think that was like that really like it was almost tear jerking in my opinion. Just to hear him say that he was almost in that same boat. It's kind of like that's a big time confession, especially to thousands of people you don't fucking know. I mean, they're fans, but you don't fucking know them,
right? Yeah.
to be telling them something like that, I mean, that's pretty deep, man. Like, of course, I'm glad David didn't do that, but
of course,
then we find, I find out he's kind of went through divorces and stuff like that recently, so that's kind of maybe been a lot of it. So, but he's on the swipe right, so.
Tinder? He's on Tinder.
Tinder. Yeah. So all you single ladies want to hook up with David Draymond, just go over and swipe right.
There you go.
That's crazy. But yeah, I wanted to share the video. I didn't think the story itself did it any injustice because that's I don't think you get emotion like that out of the story that you would have watching that video. That video was. Like I said, it choked me out the first time I watched it. I'm like, wow, man, that's deep. So, but good on him. I'm glad he got he took the bigger way out and not do something crazy. But
oh yeah.
All right. Well, if that's all you had, I guess I can kick off some of these headlines here. So
I was done.
Flotsam and Jetsam canceled their European tour as costs doubled and in some cases tripled. We've seen a lot of this for European shows, which is unfortunate. It's almost going to wind up where Europe's going to play Europe, US is going to play US, and it's going to be something like this way it's going to fucking be, man. Like unless you're Metallica can afford to do this shit. I mean, or Iron Maiden got your own fucking plane.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
and your own pilot. So Rob Zombie was fine with John 5 leaving to join Motley Crue. Said he was really cool about it. I don't know why he wouldn't be really, but Rob really don't do a whole lot as far as new stuff anymore. I mean, he kind of comes out with something every 4 or 5 years or something. But,
right.
Here's one probably not surprising. I actually didn't even realize this was still a thing until I read this story. MTV News shuttered after 36 years, further proving American media is broken. I didn't know MTV News was still a thing.
I didn't either.
I thought if you had news about music television, you had to actually play music on your TV. So
well, that should be a requirement.
But evidently not. So whatever. Rob Halford, Nikki Sixx, and John 5 are featured on the same track for a Dolly Parton rock album. See, this is what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has done. You told a lady that she had to take an award she didn't want, and now you tried to force her into being a rock star. So there you go.
There are 30 tracks on that album.
I've seen that. That's crazy.
There are 9 original tracks and then 21 covers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, holy shit.
They're good for her. So
yeah.
That way she can say, hey, at least I did a rock album, so I can be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
That artist Murder fans will be happy. Their next album will be out in September. So that's good for those guys. I'm just not a big, huge fan of that. There's a couple of songs I can roll with, but not a huge fan. But nonetheless, that's why we are a genre that we are, because there's so many different bands and so many different genres.
That's right.
Charlie Benante says he wasn't involved in the decision to use Pantera's name for the Celebration tour. And so this is my question. Why the fuck would he be involved in the decision to use the fucking name? He was never in Pantera.
Well, somebody asked him. Somebody asked him. So, I mean, so that's why.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he had to say that because somebody's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Hey, did you have anything to do with that? Like, no, motherfucker, I'm
Yeah,
not
no.
in Pantera. Why would I have anything
No.
to do with it?
Yeah,
I'm a motherfucking add-on. It's like, oh man. Slipknot's Corey Taylor partners with Puppy Jake Foundation. If you don't know that, Puppy Jake Foundation provides service dogs for free of charge to veterans who struggle with physical or emotional scars from war, which is pretty fucking cool, man.
That's a great thing.
Yeah, so Corey Taylor's on board with all that, so it's pretty cool. Avenged Sevenfold to play their first concert in 5 years tonight. Of course, they probably already played it by now. In Las Vegas, so hopefully.
Well, if it's in Vegas, it's probably going on right now.
Actually, yeah, you're probably right. They're 2 hours behind.
Yeah, a couple hours behind us. So yeah.
Motley Crue's Vince Neil says John 5 was ready to play the set before we even hired him. Yeah, probably because you've been giving him shit for months before you.
Right.
Well, everybody knew Mick was out before Mick did. So
yeah.
Mick showed up for rehearsal and said, "Where the fuck is everybody?"
Poor Mick. Jesus.
Man, that's I seen it. So if you really want to know the story about all this, because I finally heard Mick's side. Eddie Trunk had him on earlier in the week, and I heard Mick say, "First off, I've never told them I was not touring." He said, "Matter of fact, you're going to have an amp hooked to my casket when I die because I'm still going to be fucking playing." So I was like, man, that's pretty fucking cool. So it was not Mick. So just to be honest. So, honestly, I think they'd have been better off just leaving Vince Neil out of the fucking band and kept John Corabi, but that's just me.
That's a different debate for another day, but it may not have been the worst idea.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
especially to hear him now.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like John Corabi still got some pretty good pipes on him. So, all right. Stephen Piercy says 1980s hard rock and heavy metal bands don't get enough respect from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and we sincerely,
facts.
We sincerely agree. Actually, not even 80s and hard rock. I mean, any hard rock or heavy metal band don't get the fucking credit they deserve from there. So,
yeah.
I Prevail, Killswitch Engage, Beartooth, Highly Suspect, and more are confirmed for Shiprock 2024. Of course, once that whole thing comes out, I'll throw that in the tour dates.
Mm-hmm.
That can kind of get a taste of what it's going to be like, I guess. Another Motley Crue. Actually, this is going to be a realty section here. Motley Crue's Tommy Lee sells Calabasas home for $3.65 million. And then Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne sell their West Hollywood condo for $4.8 million. So,
and I think I saw something today where Kerry King knocked $500,000 off the price of one of his houses or something.
Oh wow,
something like that.
Crazy, just realty stuff going on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just, I guess, like Ozzy was trying to get the fuck out though. I guess I don't know.
They keep saying they're moving back to England, but then he keeps doing stuff here in the United States.
I know, right? It's like maybe he can't afford to go back. Maybe he can't get a bus or not to go over there. Mm-hmm. Oh man. Wasp's Blackie Lawless is going to play the remaining of the European shows seated. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, which is cool. I mean, that's pretty badass, pretty metal, if you ask me. I mean, that's kind of like the Dave Grohl thing. Break his leg,
yeah,
come back out,
get the throne.
Yep. Cast this bitch, and let's go, man.
Yep. Get the throne.
D. Snyder's first fictional novel, France, will now arrive in June. I think it was actually a July date in the beginning. They pushed it up a little, so. I could be wrong, but I think I remember doing the story on this, but I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I can't remember the original date either.
Keanu Reeves' rock band Dogstar announced his first live performance in more than 2 decades. I guess you could try to like storm that damn stage, see what happens to you. Get John Wicked up in this motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
People don't know Keanu Reeves really does all that shit. Like he
does.
He trains for like fucking 3 to 6 months to learn how to actually do all that stuff.
Yeah, he does. And I've seen him do fucking like gunplay. He's good.
Yeah.
He's accurate.
Yeah. Holly Berry was actually talking about on the John Wick 3 that she went and trained with him and said it's pretty intense. So
yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Papa Roach has been putting together new music for over the last year. So any Papa Roach fans will be looking forward to that. I want to send out a congratulations to Nonpoint. They've reached 100,000 followers on YouTube, so congrats to those guys. Very well deserved. Actually, I'm surprised they hadn't already been there for some reason. I guess people just, I think with the YouTube stuff, people just watch. I don't think they ever like follow. I mean, some people will, but I'm just saying for the most part, I think people just watch and move on. But Kill Switch Engage guitarist Adam Dukowitz and ex-singer Howard Jones already began recording their debut album for a new project, so that's pretty cool. And then Jason Newsted will debut new music at their upcoming Newsted show.
Shit, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty fucking cool. I'm pretty sure, like I read another article too where he's talking about our Newstead reuniting. So, which I think is great because I love that fucking album.
Yeah, well, I think I saw that story, and I think it was asking if they were going to do more live shows, and he basically said, "Well, I'll let the turnout at the concert decide if there's going to be more live shows."
Yeah. But I mean, you know how it is, though, man. That kind of stuff kind of leads into doing albums. I mean, look at a lot of the Shadows Fall and stuff like Ghost Inside.
Mudvayne.
Yeah, Mudvayne. Next we'll be talking about a Cold Chamber album.
Man, I wouldn't rule that out.
Yeah, I mean they obviously they're on good terms with each other. I mean, it would be torn. But,
yep.
I mean, we'll see. But that was all that I had for the headlines there. So
nice. All right.
Guess we can roll on over into hitting the road. I got two, and then a lineup announcement here. Hopefully, I can pull it up. This damn phone's acting stupid for some reason.
I think it's just in the air.
In the air. Let me make sure I pull this up before I get started here. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay, I got it. So luckily, I screenshot. I couldn't remember if I screenshotted it or not. I said, if I didn't screenshot, I'm probably gonna be fucked. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like my phone isn't even on any Wi-Fi or nothing. It's just on the data, but it's acting stupid too. So I don't know what's going on. Something may be going on over here, but
possibility.
Who knows? Somebody's always fucking shit up over here. Fucking it up for the goddamn guys trying to do shit. We're trying to fuck shit up over here. Leave us alone.
Yeah.
Hitting the road. All right. I got first one I had was Die Artist Murder, Whitechapel, Fit for an Autopsy of Spite. Then that's a European tour. It kicks off on September 28th in Tilburg, Netherlands at 13. And then ends on October 28th at Cologne, Denmark at Carlswerk, Victoria. Man, I would love to see some of these venues over there. Some of these sound like pretty.
I would too.
Pretty fucking badass. I can almost see like that Carlswerk, Victoria. I can imagine it being kind of like the War Memorial here or something, which is a great venue. I don't know why they don't hold more shows there. I don't know. And the next one I had was Born of Osiris, Upon a Burning Body, and Traders announced a North American tour. It kicks off on August 16th in Des Moines, Iowa at Woolies and ends at actually the Blue Ridge Rock Festival on 9/7 in Alton, Virginia.
Yep.
They will be in Murfreesboro, Tennessee at the Hot Springs on September 3rd. So so that's pretty cool. I think that's an outdoor venue off 840, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Hop Springs Beer Park is what it's called. So I've never been there, but I think it's right there off of 24.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Like I'm not a big fan of Traders, but the other two bands, I could probably do that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I done took advantage. By the way, if you haven't, you have a couple more days to take advantage of the.
The $25 tickets.
$25 tickets, and actually, I found out that if they're under $25 tickets already, they take another $5 off. So I picked up Havoc and Toxic Holocaust tickets already, and then I picked up tickets to see Trivium and Beartooth. So
shit, there you go.
So all for $100, man.
Wow.
Yeah, 4 tickets, $100. Yep. Actually, it was 99. So there you go. But anyway,
it can be done. Yeah. It
can be done. Yeah, Blue Ridge Rock Festival is going on September 7th through the 10th at Virginia Motor Speedway. Or Virginia International Raceway, whatever you want to call it. But in Alton, Virginia, they have released a lineup and days. They haven't really released any stages or anything, but the way they broke it down is like in fours. So I'm guessing that's per stage. I'm not sure. But Thursday they have Five Finger Death Punch, Stained, Coheed and Cambria, The Ghost Inside, Stephen Piercy, Edema, Kingdom Collapse, Evanescence, 3 Days Grace, Highly Suspect, Vince Neil, CKY, Stitch Up Heart, Rise Against Machine Head, Biohazard, Exodus, Cavalier Conspiracy, Vended, Psycho Stick, Edge of Paradise, Deadland, Cypress Hill, Atreyu, Escape the Fate, Alpha Wolf, Born of Osiris, Body Snatcher, Caskets, Kingdom of Giants, and Outline and Color. Friday looks like it's going to be Slipknot, Danzig, Flyleaf, Cold Chamber, Trust Company, Struggle Jennings. I don't know why he's there, but okay. Demon Jones, Till Lindemann, Motionless in White, Knocked Loose, Of Mice and Men, Crown the Empire, Rain City Drive, Stormbenders. Okay. Lorna Shore, had to blow it up, man. I couldn't read the damn font. Goddamn death metal. Black Dahlia Murder. Some tree. Yeah, it's just some tree.
Some tree.
Yeah. Black Dahlia Murder. Testament Overkill. After the Burial. Chelsea Green. Upon a Burning Body. Angel Maker. I don't even know what the hell that is. All right, then. Oh, Polyphia. Okay. Damn, that was weird ass why. Okay. Sleep Token, Tech 9, Electric Cowboy, Woe Is Me, Like Monster Flame, Catch Your Breath, Afterlife, Patience 67, Conquer Divide, and Savage Hands. And last but not least, wait a minute. I got 2 more days. Sorry. Saturday, Shine Down, Papa Roach, Beartooth, Blue October, Finger 11, Stabbing Whispered, Megadeth, Parkway Drive, Asking Alexandria, Taproot, Drowning Pool, Gemini Syndrome, Eternal Frequency, I Prevail, Black Label Society, Static X, Slaughter to Prevail, Death Angel, Dope, Veil of Maya, Paleface, Hanabi, The U, Spirit Box, Our Last Night, Amity Affliction, Memphis Mayfire, North Lane, Fit for an Autopsy, Bury Tomorrow, Make Them Suffer, I Set My Friends on Fire, and Landmarks. And on Sunday, you have Pantera, Lamb of God, Corey Taylor, Avatar, Cold, Fame on Fire, Armored Dawn, Limp Biscuit, Chevelle, Bad Omens, Dayseeker, I See Stars, Eva Under Fire, Waking the Sleeper, Baby Metal, Death Clock, Ginger, Suicidal Tendencies, Attila and Moore, Tala, Dropout Kings, Saving Vice, Pierce the Veil, Sleeping with Sirens, Census Fail, Era, The Color Morale, Drain, Holding Absence, Bleed from Within, Thousand Below, 10, 5, 6, and Until I Wake. They also have some pre-party stuff going on with like 10 Years, 9 Point, Burden of the Sky, Moto Grader, wow, cool. Tantric, Scott Stapp. So definitely some cool stuff there. Like I said, that's one of, to me, Blue Ridge can put together the fucking bands, man. They definitely got that going. It's just always a fucking clusterfuck when you get there.
Mm-hmm. They got to get the.
I hope, man. I really do hope they got that figured out this year. Like I said, I got burnt twice. I'm not taking a chance until they do. So, if they get it figured out, then maybe I'll decide. Yeah, maybe I'll try it again. But not me. I don't know. To me, I already seen the lineups too, and I'm just like, some of that shit's going to be like, I'd be pissed off. I can already see myself being pissed off. Mainly because you got that one day with Machine Head, Exodus, Cavalier Conspiracy, Vended, all them's kind of like they're sharing that same stage, but then you have like the Ghost Inside and Kingdom Collapse, some other bands that I probably never seen that I'd want to see, but then I really wouldn't want to miss because Machine Head, man, you can't miss Machine Head. Mm-hmm. So my wife's excited. She says we're going to see Up on a Burning Body. Okay, yeah, we're going to see Up on a Burning Body. But yeah, that was all that I had for the Hitting the Road segment. I know there was a lot more out there, but I knew the Blue Ridge was going to take my breath probably. So
all right. Well, I'll let you get caught up here for Hitting the Road this week for this May 6th through the 12th. Leading off at the PRP.com, like always, Attila has announced the About That Life 10th anniversary tour. It's going to have 2 legs. The European and UK tour is going to be with Born of Osiris, Pale Dusk, Polar, Unity, Texas, and Our Hollow, Our Home, appearing at select dates with varying incarnations. Starting June 23rd in Ijsselstein, Netherlands at Jera on Air. Finishing July 21st in London, England at the Underworld, featuring Our Hollow, Our Home. Then the U.S. tour with Gideon 1056 and Until I Wake, starting September 10th in Alton, Virginia at the Blue Ridge Rock Fest. Gideon will not be there. Finishing October 20th in Atlanta, Georgia at Terminal West. No Nashville date for the U.S. tour. We Came as Romans and Invent Animate have announced a quartet of Australian dates. August 30th in Adelaide at Lion Arts Factory. August 31st in Sydney at Liberty Hall. September 1st in Melbourne at the Cruxton. And September 2nd in Brisbane at the Princess Theatre. Dying Fetus has announced a summer European tour with Frozen Soul, Archspire, and Converge at select dates starting July 25th in Tomlin, Slovenia at the Tulminator, not the Terminator, finishing August 20th in Carhaix, France at the Motoculture. Kubla Khan, Texas, Chelsea Green, and Polaris are going to Europe and the UK this summer, starting June 23rd in Ijsselstein, Netherlands at Jera Open Air, finishing July 8th in Velké Meziříčí, Czechia at the Fight Fest. LS Dunes is going on a summer North American tour starting May 28th in Atlantic City, New Jersey at the Adjacent Music Festival, finishing August 11th in Garden Grove, California at the Garden Amphitheater. They'll be at the Basement East in Nashville on July 9th. Stained is going to be going to Florida for a trio of shows in July. July 13th in Tampa, Florida at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. July 14th in Orlando at Hard Rock Live. And July 15th in Hollywood, Florida at Hard Rock Live. The Acacia Strain, Fit for an Autopsy, and Escuela Grind have announced a summer North American tour starting June 28th in Iowa City, Iowa at Wildwood, finishing July 15th in Kitchener, Ontario at the Hub. No Nashville date there. Orthodox Chamber, Momentum, 156 Silence, and Cell going on a tour of the U.S. this summer starting July 6th in Greensboro, North Carolina at Rock House, finishing August 13th in Nashville at the Basement East. Better Lovers, Under Oath, The Ghost Inside, and We Came as Romans are going out starting July 13th in Buffalo, New York at the Rec Room, finishing August 12th in Dallas, Texas at the Factory at Deep Ellum. No Nashville date. The Callous Dow Boys are going to Europe and to the UK starting July 29th in Sheffield, England at Fly Tower, finishing August 19th in Somerset, England at the Arc Tangent Festival. Memphis Mayfire, Norma Jean, Secrets, and Saul are going on a tour this summer in July, starting July 1st in Thompson, Connecticut at the Capulet Fest, finishing July 15th in Mansfield, Ohio at the Incarceration Fest. No Nashville date, but they will be in Memphis, Tennessee at Growlers on July 12th. Libica, Lost Becomes, and God's Eyes going on a tour this summer, starting June 29th in Albany, New York at the Empire Underground, finishing July 8th in Columbus, Ohio at the Big Room Bar. No Nashville date. Napalm Death and Wormrot are going to Australia and New Zealand, starting September 5th in Perth, Australia at the Magnet House, finishing September 17th in Auckland, New Zealand at Galateos. Paul Bearer have announced some June headlining shows, starting June 3rd.
Yes.
What's that?
Oh, yes.
Oh, Paul Bearer. Yeah, I got it. Starting June 3rd in Little Rock, Arkansas at Mutants of the Monster Fest, finishing June 28th in Kansas City, Missouri at Record Bar. No Nashville date. Counterparts like Moths to Flames, Boundaries, and Omerta are going on a summer tour of North America, starting July 4th in Ottawa, Ontario at Bronson, finishing July 23rd in Quebec, Canada at the Imperial Bell. No Nashville date. Brutus is going on a tour of the UK and Europe, starting October 5th in Toulouse, France at Rex, finishing December 30th in Amsterdam, Netherlands at Paradiso. The Acacia Strain, Dying Wish, and Volatile are going to Australia, starting September 21st in Brisbane at the Zoo, finishing September 30th in Perth at the Amplifier Bar. No Volatile Ways. Hang on a second. Ways. There we go. Fit for a King, Amur, Throne, and The Gloom are going on a European and UK tour this fall, starting November 25th in Cologne, Germany at Essig Fabric, finishing December 16th in Bristol, England at SWX. And over at blabbermouth.net, we have Yngwie Malmsteen and Glenn Hughes going on tour, starting August 16th in Vineland, New Jersey at the Landis Theater. That date is going to be Glenn Hughes only. Finishing September 23rd in Clearwater, Florida at the Capitol Theater. No Nashville date. Then we have Stradivarius, Sonata Arctica, and Induction are going to, they're going to be staying in Europe. They're all European bands anyway. Going on a tour of Europe this fall, starting October 14th in Umeå, Sweden at the Northern Rock Fest at Energy Arena, finishing November 12th in Bochum, Germany at Matrix. So that'll be hitting the road for the 6th through the 12th.
Cool. I guess before I get into the list or the theme of the week, I wanted to talk about this list real quick. It's just 11 heaviest metal albums that went multi-platinum.
Okay.
Which is pretty interesting. I thought when I was reading it. Let's see. This is over at Metal Injection. They said only a handful of metal albums have gone gold, which is 500,000 copies sold in the United States, let alone multi-platinum, which is 2 million or more copies sold. These are the bands who've done it, and some of the heaviest albums and some with the heaviest album of their career. Though all these acts are legendary in their own right, some, Judas Priest, only have one metal multi-platinum album to their name, while others, Metallica, have released more multi-platinum albums than non-multi-platinum albums, which, I guess we can understand that. For this, we limited the entries to one album per band and tried to select the heaviest multi-platinum album for each, with a little wiggle room for overwhelming success or influence. And you'll see what they mean. Okay, well, we'll see. The first one I had on here was Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance. It went 2 times platinum. The Judas Priest 8 studio album is the band's only platinum in the United States. Naked British Steel as Priest's celebrated album, and next to Defenders of Faith as their most rip-roaring. Screaming for Vengeance is Exhibit A for why Judas Priest remains the high watermark for pure heavy metal. It's just amazing to me that they don't have more than one. That's fucking unreal.
Mm-hmm. That is weird.
Megadeth Countdown to Extinction went 2 times platinum. The punishing riff heavy Countdown to Extinction is Megadeth's best-selling album, and it's an absolute thrash beatdown from the band's most iconic lineup. The perfection of the album's relative simplicity shines through on Symphony of Destruction and Sweating Bullets, while its closing track, Ashes in Your Mouth, is a ferociously heavy shred beast of fury. They didn't say that was their only one, so I'm sure they've had more than one.
Yeah.
Pantera's Vulgar Display of Power was 2 times platinum. Far Beyond Driven may be the heaviest album to ever go platinum, but Vulgar Display of Power could be the heaviest to ever go multi-platinum. It's the definitive metal record of the 90s, perfect in its blend of raw power, expert musicianship, locked-in tightness, emotional mastery, and bloody-knuckled aggression. Only a band like Pantera could go from fucking hostile straight into this love. Probably can't argue with that.
No.
Slipknot's self-titled album, 2 times platinum. If Vulgar Display of Power isn't the heaviest multi-platinum album, then Slipknot's self-titled record certainly is. When Slipknot broke, they were the rabid dogs of nu metal, blending the groove-heavy genre with the absolute violence and devastation of death metal. They became their own beast, pioneering an auto sickness that was unsettling as it was catchy. And let's see, the next one was Black Sabbath, Masters of Reality. Many metal aficionados will agree that Black Sabbath's Master of Reality was the true beginning of doom metal, so it's unbelievable to think the album has racked up over 2 million sales in the U.S. Tony Iommi's tone alone is enough to catapult Master of Reality into one of the heaviest metal albums ever. And this riff writing on Into the Void inspired hundreds, if not thousands, of pot-smoking guitar occultists. We're truly not worthy. Oh man, that's funny.
It's got to start somewhere.
I guess. Tool's Lateralis went 3 times platinum. Tool's cult classic Lateralis was propelled into the mainstream thanks to the bizarre popularity of Schism, but the lead single of Lateralis only scratches the surface of this album's greatness, with godlike cuts like The Grudge, Parabola, and Lateralis. Tool's third album is like a cheat code for the listener's mental well-being. Existential and progressive as fuck, Lateralis is therapy for the soul. Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz went 5 times platinum. 5 million copies sold in the U.S., even more than Black Sabbath's Paranoid at 4 million copies. It's the absolute prodigious genius of Randy Rhoads on full display in tracks like Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley that brought Ozzy Osbourne into new heights, leading to the greatest solo career in metal history. Blizzard of Oz is a timeless work, a capstone to the golden age of heavy metal. Let's see. Korn's Follow the Leader was 5 times platinum. Korn was everywhere in the late 90s, and Follow the Leader was their absolute commercial peak. This may be the most emotional, tumultuous album to ever hit the 5 million mark, with an unraveling Jonathan Davis spilling his soul into cuts like Freak on a Leash and Seed. Follow the Leader is uncomfortably dark even when it tries to be fun, and it touches on multiple taboos that make the album's success absolutely shocking in retrospect. And then System of a Down's Toxicity was 6 times platinum. When nu metal was widely lambasted for its shallow and jockish nature, in came System of a Down with one of the most intelligent, creative, and forward-thinking metal albums to ever hit the mainstream. Toxicity is, frankly, a perfect album. No bad tracks, no dull moments, zero filler. It holds up better than just about any nu metal album ever released, thanks to the iconic cuts like Toxicity, Aerials, and the unfuckwithable Chop Suey. Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory was 12 times platinum. Hybrid Theory was a perfect storm of genre bending that influenced countless artists for decades to come. It may feature the most aggressive vocals to ever grace a diamond-selling album, and it remains the best-selling hard rock or metal album of the 21st century. One could argue that only Rage Against the Machine has ever walked the genre-fluid tightrope better than Linkin Park, but Linkin Park's monumental success confirms the band as a generational talent. Then, of course, Metallica with 16 times platinum. So Metallica's iconic self-titled Black Album has sold over 16 million copies in the United States, with worldwide sales officially crossing the 20 million mark and possibly even the 30 million mark, though not quite as heavy. Though not quite as heavy as Injustice for All, 8 times platinum. Metallica is by far and away the most successful metal album of all time, blending Take No Prisoners' 80s thrash with the alt-rock uprising of the early 90s. Boasting tracks like Inner Sandman and Sad But True, the Black Album is unkillable beast of metal, and it's spent 10 full years on the Billboard 200 charts, which is fucking unreal.
Mm-hmm.
And that was that list. So
it was a good list.
Yeah, it was a pretty good list. Yeah, I can't argue with that. They definitely did their research on that one. So usually you find some flaws in there, but yeah, that's pretty good.
Well, the fact that they didn't know that the Black Album is so.
Well, yeah, it was 30
albums.
They didn't do a whole lot, I guess.
Yeah, so
they did enough to get their point across, I guess.
Yeah, they did. I'll definitely give them that. Absolutely.
All right. I'm gonna take a breath here because this one's gonna be long too. Oh man, this theme of the week kind of bloated up into a.
It became a monster.
Yeah, of its own. Yeah, it definitely. It became the gremlin after you fed it after midnight. So.
A little bit.
But anyway, the theme of the week was time. So which is pretty broad if you think about it. I actually got a little broad with it once I got to thinking. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do this and this and this.
I mean, I tried to. Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. So, like I said, we got probably 45 songs between the both of us here, so it's going to be and if Victor has anything, it's going to be a pretty hefty. Honestly, man, like I kind of got a feeling of some of the stuff you got and what I got. I know this is going to be one of those playlists I'm probably going to be playing a lot of. I ain't even going to lie.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty good. This one's a pretty special one, I think. So
yeah.
Theme of the week is time. My first contribution here was Death Angel, seamlessly endless time, from Act 3, 1990.
Yeah.
Then I went with Devil Driver, Desperate Times from Winter Kills 2013. Then I went with Butcher Babies with some little help from Escape the Fate with a single from 21 called It's Killing Time, Baby. Then I went with Non-Points Go Time from their self-titled album in 2012. Then I went with Metallica's Killing Time from Garage Inc. 1998. And then one of my favorite Iron Maiden songs, Caught Somewhere in Time, that obviously is from Somewhere in Time 1986. Then I went with Gojira, Our Time Is Now, which was a single in 2022, which I did not realize it didn't make it to the I thought it was actually on that last album, but it's not. I was like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that. The Lamb of God, More Time to Kill from Sacrament 2006. Then I went with Kill Switch Engage in Due Time from Disarm the Descent 2013. Then I went with Megadeth Killing Time from The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead 2022. Then I went with Motionless in White Time Bomb that's actually a single from those guys too from 2021. Then I went with Upon a Burning Body, I've Earned My Time from The World Is My Enemy Now 2014. Then I went with Hate Breeds Boundless, Time to Murder It, The Divinity of Purpose 2013. Then I kind of switched up with the parts of time, I guess. Went with Pantera's 5 Minutes Alone from Far Beyond Driven 1994. Then I went with In This Moment's Witching Hour from The Ritual 2017. Then with Judas Priest Living After Midnight from British Steel 1980. Then I kind of went back into the time thing here. So Testament Time Is Coming from Practice What You Preach 89. I went with Five Finger Death Punch, Matter of Time, The Wrong Side of Heaven, The Righteous Side of Hell, Volume 2, 2013. Then with Korn, Did My Time from Take a Look in the Mirror 2003. And then Slipknot's Dying Song, Time to Sing from The End So Far 2022. Then I went with Hell Yeah's Matter of Time from Hell Yeah 2007. And then last but not least, and honestly, this may be one of the ones that I was like, he may have this one, he may not. I don't know. But I had Angelos Apatrida, Witching Hour from Cabaret de la Guillotine 2018. So that was the full list there. So
Okay, I am actually pretty shocked right now.
oh my God.
Not totally shocked, but I'm pretty surprised because with the amount of songs that we have between the two of us, we've only got 2 doubles.
Are you fucking serious?
Only
That's
2.
Crazy.
Only 2. And it took until you got all the way down to Pantera for us to have a double.
Wow. That's
I was like,
crazy.
I swear to God, I was like, are we seriously going to have 2 completely different lists? And then you got down to Pantera. I was like, okay. So
that's
still,
what I actually thought it was going to be more than that. So that's pretty.
I did
shocking.
too.
That's
I
cool.
did too. That's why
great.
I'm surprised.
This is going to be a fucking special list.
It's going to be a 40 plus song list.
Oh my God.
So I'm just going to go ahead and lead off with the 2 that we did have because it's not really too surprising. I had 5 Minutes Alone by Pantera, Far Beyond Driven from 94, and Living After Midnight by Judas Priest off of British Steel from 1980. Then, starting off with the ones that we didn't have, I got 23 other fucking songs. 2 Minutes to Midnight by Iron Maiden off of Power Slave from 1984. Countdown to Extinction by Megadeth off the album of the same name from 1992. The Final Countdown, but I went with the cover version by Affiance off of the Campaign from 2012. Yeah. Went with Time After Time. I went with Time After Time by Ozzy Osbourne off No More Tears 1991. Days Turn Blue to Gray by Machine Head off Through the Ashes of Empires from 2003. Then I had Time Machine by Accept off Blood of the Nations from 2010. Within Seconds of Death by Dregoria off Dangerous Species from 2022. A Day in the Death by Testament off Dark Roots of Earth from 2012. The Years of Death and Dying by Exodus off Persona Non Grata from 2021. Seasons in the Abyss by Slayer off of Seasons in the Abyss by 1990. 1260 Days by Forearm off the Empires of Death from 2010. One Last Time by Arch Enemy off Deceivers from 2022. 3 Days in Darkness by Testament off The Gathering from 1999. Wasted Years by Iron Maiden off of Somewhere in Time. I got a twofer there, song and album title from 1986. Yesterday Don't Mean Shit.
I had that one. I had the Iron Maiden song too. So we had 3.
Wasted Years?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Somewhere in Time. My bad. Sorry.
That was the album. Off the Somewhere in Time
sorry.
album.
I misunderstood you. My apologies.
Okay. No, you're good. And then Yesterday Don't Mean Shit by Pantera off Reinventing the Steel from 2000. The Day You Died by Arch Enemy off Rise of the Tyrant from 2007. My Time by Ex-Hoarder off of Mourn the Southern Skies from 2019. Time Is Up by Havoc off of Time Is Up from 2011. Hold Back the Day by Devil Driver from The Fury of Our Maker's Hand from 2005. Clockwork by Angelos Apatrida off of the Clockwork album from 2010. So I did have Angelos Apatrida, just not that song. Just not the same song.
I got you. Cool.
Excuse me.
Anytime we get 2 Angelos Apatrida songs is a good day.
Yeah, absolutely. Then I had One More Time by Hammerfall off of Infected from 2011. Slave to the Clock by A Perfect Murder off of Unbroken from 2004. And this is where I stopped myself. Number 25, My Dying Time by Black Label Society off of Catacombs of the Black Vatican from 2014.
Cool. Wow.
This is going to be a really good fucking playlist.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty, man. I'm going to be listening to that. I'm going to be listening to that at work a lot this week, probably.
Yeah. And like I say, we'll forward it on to Victor to see if he's got anything to add. I guarantee you he probably has a few.
Oh, I'm sure he does, yeah. All right. So the playlist I have listed up there right now is the weekly playlist.
Nice.
That's so check that one out. I'll let that one sit there for a minute. Then we'll actually, we can talk about that Devil Driver album real quick before we get into the actual reviews if you want to. So
yeah, we could do that. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know how I've listened to it one time all the way through, which I'm sure it's going to be like a weekend thing at this point.
Yeah, I am actually I'm actually 8 of the 9 tracks all the way through. I do still have the last song to listen to, but I've listened to it far. Excuse me, I've listened to it far enough along to basically come up with a pretty good opinion of it.
Yeah. Well, if it I'd be surprised if it doesn't make my top 10. I'll just say that. Like it's just probably top 3 at this point. Honestly, that's to me. I mean, I thought it was that good, but
I'm gonna have to listen to it again. Now, having said that, it's not that I didn't enjoy it. I think I'm like I say, I have one more song to listen to. One of the downsides to the way I listen to albums, because you know me, I've got an hour round trip, maybe a little more. So I'm usually able to listen to an entire album on the way up and on the way back. Well, I listened to my review album this morning, and I finished it on the way home, and then I started the Devil Driver album on my way home. So one of the downsides to the way I listen to it is I am listening to it while I'm driving. So sometimes I'm not able to devote 100% of my focus to it because I'm trying to fucking see where I'm going.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to listen to it again. I so far what I've listened to, I very much enjoy. To me, it sounds like they threw a little more melody in this one over Dealing with Demons Volume 1, and I like that. I haven't really heard any of the surprise clean vocals like he did on Volume 1.
Yeah, there's not any
with Wishing,
right?
Which is fine. But one thing that I did notice is it's still classic Des Fafara vocal wise.
Oh yeah.
It almost seems to me like Des might be starting to think a little more long term, and it sounds like he may. And you can
pull it back a little.
Pull it back a little bit to where he's trying to not necessarily go cleaner, but he's trying to focus on the health of his throat long term.
Right.
So I did notice a little bit of a not a cleanliness of the vocals, but they did sound a little more crisp to me, even though they were still just as aggressive as normal.
Right.
So I don't know if that's kind of how that sounded to you, but I did notice a little bit of a difference in a good way. He didn't go completely clean like he did on Volume 1, but in a good way. So yeah, I'm going to listen to it again, but yeah, it's from, like I say, I'm 90% of the way through, and I've been a Devil Driver fan since 03. So, I'm 20 years in, so
I almost
definitely
thought
not
of
disappointed.
When I was listening to it, I was thinking that the last 3 albums, I think that I kind of like trying to compare it. I think he's kind of like what you said. He's kind of done a little bit in each step forward to kind of like preserve maybe a little. But I also feel like he's gotten better though too.
I think so.
At some point, so I mean, maybe that's helping him to preserve. It is making him better too. So
I think so.
To say a singer's getting better with age is hard to ever say, but unless you're talking about Howard Jones, but
that guy's a fucking anomaly.
Yeah, he's like the Benjamin Button of vocals. I swear.
Yeah,
it's going in reverse. It's crazy.
It kind of is.
Yeah, that's why I can't wait to hear that new project with Adam. Man, that's just to see what he sounds like.
Yeah. You're right.
All right, let me throw this one up. This was the playlist from last week. The theme, that's the school theme, right? That's what we did last week.
Last week, oh, hang on. Last week was school.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Just want to make sure. They usually are in order on my Spotify, but sometimes they fuck me up.
Yeah, it's weird. It does kind of jumble them up every now and then.
Yeah, so that's the school one. So we'll leave that one up there while we get into the album reviews here. So, like I said, dealing with demons is like I got it pre-ordered. I had it pre-ordered too, so I should be getting it any day now. But so I'll probably get it before I get my Overkill album because I guess that's coming from overseas. They keep giving me updates about it. So,
okay.
I'm like, what the fuck? All right, whatever. But I ordered it whenever I ordered that and 72 Seasons when they, kind of like when they came out. I listened to them and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta have these. So I ordered both of them. I got my Metallica one earlier yesterday.
Nice. Okay.
So, which I had the album. I pre-ordered the actual album, but I'm not, I'm not going to open it or play it. So,
right, exactly.
That's my collector deal. Which I opened it. I guess I did open it. I guess I'm not going to play it.
Right.
I guess I should rephrase that. But you got to open it and look at it at least, But my main thing was looking at the inserts. I wanted to see the insert stuff. So,
well, yeah, of course, you want to see the guts.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool. I love the way they have the 72 Seasons, like kind of crochet or what they call that, how they paper mache it, I guess. Had it like paper mache it out,
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty cool. All right, album reviews. So this week I went with a band, which is kind of crazy because at first when I first seen it, I said, wait a minute, is that Godsmack? It's like
you said Godsnake, yeah,
just Godsnake. A little bit different. So yeah, definitely different when you listen to it too. So so with Godsnake, Eye for an Eye, Godsnake is a band out of Hamburg, Germany. It doesn't really say when they formed, which is weird. But it looks like they've been around since about 14. So I'm guessing somewhere around that time frame. They're on Encyclopedia Metallum, but it never said when they formed, which was crazy.
Oh, okay, that is weird.
Yeah, it says NA. Like, what?
Oh, yeah, they may not have been able to get that information.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got all the EP all the way back to the EP in 2014, so I'm not sure why they, so they've had that going. So I don't know. They're actually listed as a melodic thrash metal band, which I can definitely see that, I guess. So, current members, which is crazy, only one member has a last name, which is crazy.
I get you.
According to Encyclopedia Metallum, anyway. I didn't look anywhere else. I probably should have double researched, but it was kind of time frame. So, but Walt is on bass, Sydney on drums, Stevo on guitars, Pepe Pires on guitars, and then Torje. I'm guessing that's Torje. I mean, ERs aren't usually ERs there, are they? Or, I don't know. Torje, something like that. But he's on vocals there. So this is the band's second full-length album. Maybe I can talk to him and tell him, hey, pronounce your name right for me.
Yeah, shit.
This is the band's second full-length album. 10 songs, 47 minutes, 50 seconds. This is one of those albums that I don't know. It's like when you listen to it, you like it. It just sounds right, but you don't know why.
It just hits.
I mean, seriously,
it just hits.
I'm like, dude, this like I don't know why. Like this shit just like is so like perfectly laid out. But like the vocals, vocally he has a little rasp, so it just like fits in like perfect with the musical composition and arrangements there. It's just, I don't know. It's like, it's hard to explain it really. Like I've listened to this like 3 times already and I still can't like put it into words.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, you just,
I'm breathtaking, man. Like it's that different though. I think it's similar to some stuff. I'll get to that in a minute, but it's definitely different. Like, I don't know. It's like the guitars, the drums, everything about that. It just clicked. I think it's like one of those things where he's just clicked so well. There's like even a couple slower tracks there that were even kind of reminded me, since we're talking about Devil Driver, kind of reminded me of the Devil Driver Wishing song, where they're kind of low melodies and then they kick it in and then kind of bring it back down type things. It was, I thought they were really well done too. It's like it wasn't your average like ballady type slow song. I mean, it was definitely still in your face and kicking your ass. But yeah, so to kind of compare, I guess, I think it's probably the closest band I would say to these guys are probably Trivium. He really does. So he really does have a Matt Heffy type vocal style, I think, where he's got that little rasp, but he can still hit like some gutturals and high notes too. So, but yeah, I'd be the closest band I could compare it to. This one's just, I mean, it's an easy 4 horns for me, man. Like, I mean, I may even like wind up like by the time we get to the end of the year, like if I get to the end of the year, like if we did it right now, this album would be in my top 5 right now.
Nice,
more than likely.
What would you give the Devil Driver album? Like 4?
Oh yeah, definitely a 4
out of 5.
Yeah. It's actually be teeter tottering a 4.5 for me, but it's like I said, it was like it was being my top 3 right now probably.
Nice.
Overkill's still probably my favorite album so far. But
I actually have Overkill rated as my highest album so far this year. I was actually looking at my list like earlier this week, and I was like, all right, there we go.
Yeah. In Flames is up there too. I like that album too. So
I still have to listen to that. I haven't heard it yet. I got to get off. I'm a little behind. Of course, I don't work from home like you do either. You have a chance to listen to more music than I do. So
true, but man, I got that CD too. So if you ever decide you just want to pop it in or something, I got it. So
okay, all right.
But that was my album review this week. I didn't get to listen to nothing else because, like I said, I was listening to Devil Driver. So
hey, that's a good excuse.
Yeah, there was another one I was wanting to listen to. It was Bella Maya. I didn't get to listen to that one yet.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I got to listen to that one. So
yeah, I'm gonna check out that Godsnake because you posted something on Facebook earlier. They said this new Godsnake album is fire. So I'm gonna
it's pretty fire.
All right. Well, my formal review was the album Prowler by a band called Nighthawk. I'm not because they're not on Encyclopedia Metallum because they're not a metal band. They're a melodic rock band. They are actually fronted by Bjorn Streed from Soilwork and the Night Flight Orchestra. It started out as a solo project by Robert Majd, Majd, I believe. Yeah. He is the bass player in Metalite and Metalite and Captain Blackbeard. I've never heard of it. Then you have John Lahnmeyer on what the hell does that say? On the keyboards, Christian Eck on bass, and Magnus Olfsted on drums. So obviously this is a European band. I don't know if they're based out of Sweden. I'm not 100% sure. But Bjorn Streed, he's from Soilwork. He's Swedish. So he's the lead singer of the band. This is their second studio album. I'm not exactly sure the name of the. Midnight Hunter is actually the name of their first album that came out in 2021. Like I say, details are a little spotty. They don't have their own specific website, and their Facebook page is kind of sparse. 11 tracks, 32 minutes and 8 seconds. 2 of them are covers. Cover Me, which is a Bruce Springsteen cover, and God of Thunder, which is a Kiss cover. So like I said, this isn't a metal album. It's like late 70s, early 80s kind of melodic rock. Very, very keyboard heavy. Honestly, a little more keyboard heavy than I prefer. Like our friends over at Spillage, I mean, they've got like a perfect balance of keyboards going on. And Spillage is a hell of a lot more heavy than this because Spillage, I mean, they're a metal band. Spillage is a metal band, and their keyboard player he adds a really perfect balance of keyboards that mixes in with everything else. This was a little more keyboard centric, and I've said this before.
Kind of
It's not
overpowering,
my.
I guess.
It was a little overpowering at times, and one thing I don't like is when a keyboard takes the place of a guitar for solos. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
We did get a couple guitar solos on this album, like later on. Truth be told, I think it may have actually been in the cover songs because, the original songs had actual guitar solos when you're talking about Kiss and Bruce Springsteen. So those may have been the only guitar solos I got. So, that being said, I mean, it's a really up-tempo rock album. So, it's not really heavy, but, it wasn't too bad. It's not something that I would like go out of my way to listen to in the future. I'm going to give it 3 horns out of 5. The songs were really well put together, even though I did think that the keyboards really, were kind of at the forefront, which is kind of strange because you figure that the guy who started the project, he would like kind of be, the forefront. Hey, this was my solo project. This is how I started it. But yeah, the keyboard player kind of like takes over, so a little strange, for me in that aspect. But yeah, I don't really know who I would recommend this for, because I don't know if any of our, fans out there would really kind of dig this, but
yeah.
But I mean, I didn't hate it. Like I say, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5. Didn't hate it. The sound, no, didn't hate it. The sound that I got, I definitely wasn't expecting based on the album cover. So I kind of, a little bit surprising there, but I've definitely listened to, worse so far this year. So,
So just to let you know, the album that I had when I was going through and listening to some of this stuff, I had marked your name beside some stuff that I thought you might like, and it was actually I thought it was that album when you said that, and then I went back and looked at my list a while ago, and I was like, oh, it wasn't even that album. I told him false information. So I feel like I'm Fox News or something right now. Oh man,
or at least CNN.
Yeah, right. But the band I wanted you to check out was Fortunato.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was more of the melodic metal stuff going on over there. So
I actually did see that one, but for some reason, like when I saw the Nighthawk album, it just kind of the name just kind of jumped out at me. But I did see that one. I thought about it for a second, but I'll listen to it this week.
You just think too much about Step Brothers, man.
Yeah.
You call me Nighthawk.
Call me Nighthawk. That's right. All right, so let's see what we got coming up for well, actually, it doesn't really matter what's coming out. It doesn't really matter too much what's coming out next weekend. We'll take a quick look at it, but why don't you go ahead and tell everybody why it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Actually, we got a guest coming on, so we won't be here Friday, but we will have a Saturday show. Saturday morning at 10 a.m., which was our old time frame. They are from an overseas band, so we have to kind of work with them as much as we can to get them on. So I hate having to put a lead out there and then tell them, man, we can't work nothing out, But so we try to work the best we can. Like, even I've said I'll. If it's one of my short weeks or whatever, I'll do a Thursday night show too. I don't care, but as long as I'm not working, but yeah. So, but Demos is Dawn. I think, as far as I know, Andy from that band is supposed to be on. I haven't got a confirmation for sure because I always try to confirm the week before.
Mm-hmm.
I just sent it out. He just hadn't replied. But he's a busy guy. So I mean, it took him a couple of days to reply last time. So
Well, yeah, because he had just got I
he
remember
just got
seeing the
back from
email.
China.
He
Yeah,
just got back from China, yeah. And if I remember correctly, he did say it was going to be just him because of the language barrier. I think
exactly.
he's the only
Yeah,
one who speaks English. So
yeah, yeah. So there's that too. But yeah. So hopefully we'll have that going on next Saturday. I'll once I find out, we'll start plugging it on all of our socials. So just follow us over there, and you'll
mm-hmm.
find out for sure. But yeah.
But yeah.
So if something happens, we'll be right back here Friday. But
Well, actually, next week we won't.
oh
be
no,
back
I
here.
won't. That's right,
We
because
won't. Yeah, we won't be here.
I'll be at
Yeah,
the Ricky Ratma show. That's right. I forgot.
yeah, yeah. We won't be here. We won't be here next Friday night, regardless. And
Right.
so we'll do a show at 10 a.m. on Saturday. As of right now, it's going to be for an interview. But if the interview falls through, we'll just do a regular show Saturday morning.
Okay. Sounds good.
But yeah.
And of course, we got some other stuff kind of going on too. With like I said, I was talking to the Finality, and I got a couple other bands I need to reach out to. I just it's been a crazy week, dude. Like my phone was like beeping like 50 times yesterday because I had so much going on. I was like, I'm talking to these people about the radio station, and then I'm talking to a guy about a movie coming up that I'm supposed to be doing. So I was kind of
yeah.
So I'm kind of like, oh man, I'm deep. Like I was going, man, I was really like man, I need a shot or something. Like yesterday, I was like, man, it's crazy. But it's good to be busy, I guess. So.
Mm-hmm.
So keeps me out of trouble for sure. So
yeah,
we can still run down we can still kind of run down the albums and kind of give people
all right. All right. Well,
idea if they see something they like, they can check it out. So
yeah. Well, then this coming Friday, May 19th, over at heavymusichq.com. Leading off, we have Age of the Wolf with A Pilgrimage to Nowhere, Alcatraz with Take No Prisoners. I thought that's what they did at Alcatraz, but that's neither here
I
nor
know,
there.
right?
All Hallows Evil with Coven, Ara Solis with Ashvatha, Arjun Lucason's Supersonic Revolution with Golden Age of Music, Asbest with Cyanide, Bad Sister with Out of This Business, that's a re-release, Bird's View with Red Light Habits, Blindfolded and Led to the Woods with Rejecting Obliteration, Botanist with 8, Selenotrope, By a Storm with Beware of the Underdogs, Chronicle with Where Chaos Thrives, Citizen Rage with Harsh Reality, Craving with Call of the Sirens, Darklawn with The Redeemer, Days Like These with Icon, that's an EP, Def Leppard with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra with Drastic Symphonies, Domidium with Beyond, and this next one is bullshit because I know the album is out, Dragoria with Dangerous Species. I know it's out because I've listened to it, and I have it on the freaking theme of the week list.
It was actually let's see, where was that? Warco, the Giant's Dream, was on last week's list, but he came out in 22. So
yeah, so I know that. So I know that's wrong. Then we have Elysium with Wrong, The End of 6,000 Years with a self-titled EP, Ephemeral with Tower of Silence, that's an EP, Formula 400 with Divination, Frozen Soul with Glacial Domination, Gallows Rites with Witchcraft and Necrodesecration, that's an EP. We have Gavial with Vor, Ghost with Phantomime, that's an EP. I don't know if that's the Ghost. It may be. I
don't think so.
Idea. I have no idea. Gozu with Remedy, Grande with and self-titled EP, Ground Shaker with Rogue Asylum, Heathen Hearts with No Light Left to Chase, that's an EP. We have Hengit with Beyond North Star, Heritoire with Wastelands, Hit the Ground Runnin' with Control Yourself, that's a re-release. A Horrible Death to a Horrible Man with Days Gone By. We have Harada with Mirrorland, Heil with Where Emptiness Is All, Imperium with Never Surrender, Inferion with Inequity, Last Risla with Noise Without Decay, Legacy of Brutality with Travelers to Nowhere, Lockstep with Arrival, that's an EP, The Lungs with Vain, that's an EP, Lust with Invictus, Magic Touch with Cakes and Coffins, Millennium with The Sign of Evil, Miscreants with Convergence, that's a re-release. We have Moore with Heavy Heart, Mystic Prophecy with Hell Riot, Natenhimmel with Morningstar, Neil Sean with Journey Through Time, The Ocean with Holocene, Omen Astra with The End of Everything to See, Pa Vesh N with Martyrs, Radian with Unisa Palanit, Ring of Gyges with Metamorphosis, Road Wolf with Midnight Lightning, Sacred Outcry with Towers of Gold, Servers with the Vertical Plane, Shadows with Out for Blood, Signum Regis with Chapter 4, The Reckoning, Skade with Gudinen, Sleep Token with Take Me Back to Eden, Stormburst with 3, Sweet and Lynch with Heart and Sacrifice, Tankzilla with a self-titled album, Tardigrade Inferno with Arrival of a Train, that's an EP, Temblad with Hallucinosis, okay, Thetan with Dim Times, that's an EP, Thalcandra with Hail the Abyss, Toby Peterson Stewart with Break a Leg, that's an EP, Tombstones in Their Eyes with Sea of Sorrow, Umbilla Chaos with Morning Carnivals From Now On, The Unslain with Descending, The Used with Toxic Positivity, Van Sidian with Reflecting the Shadows, Vomithiest with Necro Funeral, Vool with Concrete Cult, Weapon with New Clear Power, not Nuclear Power, Wisele with Fin de Cicle, and Yakuza with Sutra. So quite the list and quite a few EPs actually this week that I noticed.
Didn't nothing really jump out at me either, so it's going to be kind of a run through and see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, definitely a lot of stuff to choose from, but yeah, I wouldn't say like any quote unquote heavy hitters this week, but that doesn't mean there's not good music. That definitely doesn't mean that at all.
I always wanted to be in a band called Pubic Hair, so when they say, they had to pronounce it a certain way too. So they like first time on Jimmy Fallon, here they are.
That's right. With their new single, "What Is This in My Teeth?"
No, that's Anyway, besides some of the technical difficulties we had, it was definitely a field of content show for sure.
Oh yeah, we got off to a slow start, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll maybe they'll figure it out one of these days, but it's definitely them. So I was.
Absolutely.
I was watching, like, it's kind of like watching my stuff and watching their stuff, and I was like, yeah, they're like way off from what my actual like I said, I have 5G in the house, and then I have a Wi-Fi extender in here too. So there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to stream, without
seamlessly.
So but anyway, I guarantee if I hooked it up straight, it'd still hook the fuck up. So.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, that's the thing though. Streaming services do that. We've dealt with a lot worse. Trust me. We kicked plumb out of shit on some of these other damn things. Had to go back in. One of them we had to redo the whole damn thing and come back in or something. Like was it Haps? I think we had to do that with.
I'm pretty sure it was Haps actually.
Yeah. So they still, and when it pulls up, it still says beta on it. So that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Everything's still on VHS here, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I think we actually still have an account we could probably use on Haps. I think we still have one.
Oh God. Let's not go backwards.
No, let's not. Absolutely not.
Oh man. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Other than the fact that there was,
yeah, it took a minute.
Yeah. Like I said, I think I'm just going to warm it up next time, like 30 minutes early, just to kind of get it going. Maybe that's what you got to do. Maybe you got to warm it up.
Yeah, maybe.
Got to talk crazy. Got to talk sweet to it or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like that car that don't start. Come on, baby, come on, baby, come on.
Right. Yeah.
There it is. That's a sweet spot.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully we will see you back next week. Don't forget the interview. We will be posting about it this week, I'm sure. Saturday, 10 a.m. You don't want to miss that. Check out Demas' Dawn. Check out their new album as well. I don't have it pulled up, so I can't tell you the name of it, but anyway, it's definitely a good one. Like I said, we listen to so much shit, it kind of runs together. Unless it's something like Devil Driver, that kind of it's a big band that
It
sticks
does.
out. But
It does.
a lot of these bands that we don't know, it's kind of like we've made some real good friendships with a lot of these bands too. So those bands we know. I guess.
Yeah.
You ask me about Demons is Dawn 2 weeks from now, I'll be like, oh yeah, I know everything about them. But anyway, hope you guys have a good one. Hope to see you back here next week. Till then, keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Thank you guys. Have a great week.